We are ready.
We'll open this meeting on May 14, 2015. Let the record show that Selectman Scanlon is not present, but he is on his way. We'll start with the approval of the minutes.
Bring the minutes of May 7th, 2015 to the floor for discussion.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On page 2, Selectman Dawson reported she had received information from Northeast Resource Recovery regarding the recycling of tires. There was a discussion of implementing a fee pattern to accept tires for proper disposal and recycling aside from Amnesty Week. It was decided Selectman Dawson and Arthur Damas would contact NRRA to obtain a dumpster for the tires. I believe that we asked them to contact NRRA to get more information, more pricing on dumpsters, and not go out and actually get the dumpsters.
So I just leave off to obtain.
Right. So just say, contact NRRA for more information, something like that. Right. And on page 3, Selectman Constantino suggested to the chief, I believe that was asked the chief to attend. It wasn't a suggestion. As a side note, do we have information from Arthur?
We do. We came in with it this afternoon. Joyce has it, I believe.
Joyce has it? Okay. Wonderful. Is there any more corrections or concerns?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of Thursday, May 7th, 2015 as corrected.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes?
Aye.
Okay. Lauren, we're ready.
Oh. As requested, I did up
Laura, can you hold the mic to this one?
No, the black one right there, yeah.
Sure. Based on the revised, or based on the abatement recommendation for the Tilton School, and following along with the agreement that was in place for the previous 5 years, I modified the agreement based on that abatement recommendation, which included the adjustments to the 3 buildings where we had information inaccurate. I highlighted on there what was changed, but right behind that agreement is the previous agreement, so you can refer to that to see actually, what changes were made to that agreement. And then also is the revised spreadsheet that was done for the abatement request as well.
Oh, okay.
So it follows along the same valuations. My understanding is that abatement request for the school was signed, and the check was cut Monday. So it just went
Thursday,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it was approved Thursday, the check got cut Monday.
Right.
Tuesday, it got mailed.
Mailed, right.
Beth just emailed me back, she just got it today. She hasn't had an opportunity to review it at all, but she said she would keep me posted about what their
Okay.
feedback on that. Obviously, I didn't have that information, so I just mirrored this agreement. The only thing that I really felt strongly, which would have been number 11, which was an issue before, I think, it essentially said the review and adjustment process may also be invoked by either party prior to the setting of the tax rate each year if there has been a change up or down of 5% or more in the total assessed value. But I think that language left it open-ended.
Right.
Who was determining
5%.
whether the change was 5% or not? Because when we went up and inspected the building this last time, you were there, Pat, and Al was there, and they were like, oh, but there hasn't been any changes greater than 5%.
Yeah.
Well, who determined that? Because there were some pretty significant changes. So I just think that that language left it kind of wishy-washy and up to the interpretation of whoever read it. So I just changed that to basically say that if there's been any change that would affect the total value, we could, either party could invoke the review and adjustment. So if they make any kind of change, one, they have to report it annually, which I covered under Section 5 at the last sentence there. So any physical change or any change where they're changing the percentage of taxable versus exempt, and those are those buildings where they might have dorm students to day
Day
students.
students, right.
So that addresses both of the type of situations that they could have going on up there. I think this is really just the starting process, although we should have been doing it last year. And that's why I did address this, and so it would be a 5-year agreement, because through the abatement, we already had adjusted the values for 14, so that's why this relates to final values for 14 as well. But I think it just is kind of the starting point for that discussion, if the board wants to have that, so.
Okay. They're just coming off, Peter. Last year was the first year of no agreement. We had a 5-year agreement with them. Prior to that, we were in court every year. So we came to an agreement.
Yep.
And,
Slow down, Joe.
it will,
We had an agreement in place before that one, didn't it?
Yeah, well, not,
It wasn't quite as...
it was an older agreement.
It was older, but there was an agreement, it just wasn't as tight.
Yeah, it's been, there was
Was
an
it years
agreement.
ago
It was
before
like
that?
Updated.
right,
Right.
it was in the 90s, it was kind of loosely being followed, I think, and then,
I remember that
of course,
now.
we came in.
Yep.
And stirred it all up. No,
Yeah.
I think it was actually following the vision reassessment in
talked about- you
'05. There
did.
was some issues, so,
okay,
big
so
court battles, and
if
Concord mucked it up for everybody.
they really did.
So you
decision was
think
tough.
this is in the best interest of the town to go ahead and, with the agreement?
I think, given that, the nature of what it is, that, as long as we're being provided the information annually, so that we can properly react if there's changes to the assessment, because I think the language previously almost locked the value in for 5 years, and we weren't necessarily finding out about the changes. So I think as long as we kind of button up that loophole, the agreement is good for all parties and would alleviate the need for,
Okay.
and not that I recommend, just because someone might take us to court is a reason to go into an agreement either. This has been a long-standing practice dating back many, many years with the school, so its continued practice, I don't think, is a bad idea for the town. And that's, I just saw the map there, I was just looking, because I couldn't find the update one that has the streets and the sales on it. I thought that was it for a minute, but that's the zoning. I also, while I was here today, ran the tax warrant. Joyce wasn't sure if she was going to be back. It's due tomorrow by law to the tax collector. So I ran it. The only thing I'm aware of that the minute I pushed formalize was there was one veterans tax credit that did come in that they had applied on the 15th, mailing addresses in Canterbury. I couldn't confirm or today if the property was the primary residence, although it was stated on there with the mailing address of Canterbury. I'd want to confirm that. So that's the only thing I could think of, and
We can adjust that after if you determine that it's the primary.
absolutely. So that's not included on here, but that is the commitment. And Dari, I had Dari correct a land use change tax that was done because the book and page referenced on it before was the incorrect information. And he went to record, we thought he could record just the top page correcting that. The registry will not accept it without signatures on this, and a second page. So the corrected one's here for the board to sign as well.
You're going to look
I
at,
was gonna sign it.
oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's,
I was just going to
It's the
peek.
first one.
I mean, you know,
And that's what Tim said, are you sure? Yeah, we should do it. No, we should, yeah. It's the first bill. Anything that we do, if it's wrong, if there's an error, it's only a prepayment. Anything can be fixed in the middle, so.
but if we miss the date,
If we miss the date by law, yes, that's not good.
that's a
So,
different story.
yeah, so it's a good thing, and bills can get out on time, and Tim will be happy because money will start coming in. Even though it can't be due any sooner than July 1st, money will start coming in, so he will be happy.
Is that?
The agreement with the school? Oh.
The warrant.
That was a corrective land use change tax on the Gerlach property.
And before that was the warrant.
It was just the wrong book and page.
Yeah, and because when they search that down the road, that becomes the legal reference for that, so we just wanted to make sure it was the correct information. The previous one had already been recorded, had been paid, everything, so it's only correcting that.
So this is the incorrect.
It's
And this is the
correct.
correct.
Yes.
It's just confusing.
I also PDF'd the warrant with the signatures and everything, and I emailed that to Joyce so she would have the electronic copy of that, so it can be printed. I was telling Kim, my computer is finally double-siding down there. I'm not sure if it's double-siding in the manner that they want it, so it is a PDF, it can be reprinted. I'm not so techno-savvy, I sent it to the printer, and it double-sided, I was happy. So, it's there and can be reprinted if they need to.
Find the one I was looking for, but that's all right.
Who are you looking for?
The guy that came in and talked to you, I wanted to see what the difference was.
It's in name order.
Last name first, right?
Yep. It should be on there.
Yeah, that's not important.
The
Oh.
percentage that
I see it.
we assess, or the valuation that is non-tax exempt, is according to the usage of the buildings.
Correct. So, certain things by state statute are taxable and certain things are exempt. So, because they have buildings that are a mixed use, mostly they're a mix of either day student use and dorms. The dorms are taxable. The day student stuff, as it's essentially available school space that they use for that, it's exempt. Like the classrooms are exempt, the cafeteria is taxable, and those buildings that we address through the abatement tend to be those ones that have a mix of uses in them. So we walk through, we determine how much is in use for dorm use, cafeteria, that type of stuff, and then we have to allocate percentage of that. And it just depends, it changes year to year, depends on their enrollment status. If they have more students and they have more dorm students, then they allocate more space to that, and the day students have to use other common spaces for
How
their
does
use.
the football field figure into that?
All of the land, I think, predominantly is exempt, and that follows closely with the St. Paul's decision that Catherine was so eloquently referencing earlier. That made some really clear guidelines, and we don't all necessarily agree with the decision completely, but it was a court case, it was appealed, it has matter of law, essentially, so has the weight of law, so we follow that. How you doing?
Good.
So, John, we have a tentative preliminary agreement for Tilton School, and Lauren brought up the warrant to be signed. Catch you up. In front of you have the agreement.
The highlighted are things that I changed, and behind it is the old agreement and the spreadsheet of the properties and their breakdown of percentage of exempt or taxable.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions for Lauren while she's here? You can get off scot-free.
I was going to
tonight.
say, it's quiet at that end of the table tonight. And it's the first time that I've
They're
been in
absorbed in looking at it.
since Peter's been on the board. Last time I was here, Al was still sitting down there, so, the two of them were a little,
I'll get you at
Rowdy.
some point. I'll
They
get
were
you
a
at some
little-
point in the future.
they were a little rowdy at that end of the table.
This is what it is. But, see, the circumstances were different
Yeah,
last time.
absolutely, absolutely. While I've got you, though, I might as well update you that we went to BTLA for the Riverfront Place appeal. The day before the appeal, I was at BTLA for another matter, and heard from the clerk that the 2013 case had been withdrawn. I hadn't been notified of that. And I will be filing a motion to the board for costs. During the mediation process, I informed the tax representative that, because they did not have an appraisal for 13, and they really hadn't provided any additional evidence for 13, that if they were not going to go forward with 13, that they should let us know immediately, because we didn't want the town to spend the money to have the appraisal updated by Barry Cunningham. He indicated almost to the 11th hour that he was going forward with 2013, so we waited till the 11th hour. We had Barry update the report, and 2 days before the hearing, he withdrew the 13 appeal. We had the 2012 case heard on that next day. It was a full day. We were there till 4:30, 4:45.
I did it ass backward. You're really supposed to be
See what happens now.
signing
They had
just so you don't make
their appraisal that they had used at the Superior Court decision for 11 and 12, they submitted that, but they did not have their appraiser there. So I'm not sure.
Is this something that would benefit us? I know they had asked prior to that to come up with an agreement, and they never came in and asked us for that after the 2011-12, to go ahead with a 5-year plan or whatever, going forward under somewhat of the guidelines of Tilton.
Well, I mean, I don't know that there's any provisions in the law to make that kind of agreement with just,
Okay, with a business.
with anybody.
Okay.
There's certain provisions. The school, because it's part exempt, part taxable, there's a little bit more, and all we're doing, and we're not really we're still assessing them at market value. There's no question, they're not getting a deal, I mean, it should be clear. So there's really not any type of agreement. He indicated right at the appeal that he would be going forward for 14. So I don't see an end to it unless...
So every year, we're going to...
The only way that I see an end to it is if the town, no, if the town gives him exactly what he wants. The last time through, I think they were down to saying it was worth $350,000. I mean, they bought a defunct mill for close to $500,000. They put a tremendous amount of money into the property. So I don't know, maybe once they receive the decision, that opinion may change. I don't know. But at a minimum, I wanted to move forward and file for cost on behalf of the town, because I don't think you should have had to pay for an appraisal to be updated for
When they were gonna
13 when they
withdraw it.
had no intention of going forward. So it was frivolously
So
maintained.
in other words, they didn't come forward with their appraisal, they just withdrew. That's,
2 days before the hearing.
so, a few weeks ago, well, about a month ago, I was told that the appraisal's being done.
Right, I waited till the last possible minute to have him update it. We have to supply it to the other side 14 days prior to the case, so, and I have to give the appraiser,
Right.
a little bit of time to update the report, but I had him hold off till, I'm like, if they're not going forward with 13, I'm not going to have you do it, I'm not going to have the town spend the money, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. But right up until that time, we thought he was going forward, and 2 days before they withdrew it, so.
Right.
Anything the board does decide for 12 will carry on till 13, but 2014 is a new tax year because we did the reassessment, yeah, so we start all over again, no matter what.
Yuck. Fun.
So I'll keep you posted on both as soon as we get the decision, and, yeah, I think that's all that was outstanding, although we're still waiting on, we have another appeal pending, but
You have any questions for Lauren, Joyce? You all set? Anybody else? Thank you so much, Lauren, appreciate you coming in.
scheduled for 4:45.
I know, and you're out of here 10 minutes.
Record time.
Got it, moving right along.
And you gave them the warrant?
I gave him the warrant.
So it's all signed, I think.
Oh, is it good?
Getting there anyway.
Peter's perusing it.
Well, I printed it here. Oh, you don't know if it's... Oh, the whole thing? Oh. It's flipped. And the only thing that I told him was... Yep. All right, so we have to call him. I don't think...
And I just...
This is when they might look, I don't know.
I don't know, it's just been so...
Joyce, is this the yield tax? This is all set to sign, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
This is Cindy's. Oh, no, this is Lauren's to Cindy, right? There's one in here says Joyce is going to tell us about it. Which way? All
They
right,
never come to me. So when I come in on Friday, I either get called on Friday or when I come in.
these are imposters.
Send some that way, Joe's going through them like
The-
no tomorrow.
These?
Animal candy.
Those are dark ones.
Yeah.
Those are healthy.
Good night. No, it's fake chocolate.
Fake.
Fake. Okay, moving right along, Joyce, you ready? Oh, I don't really want to stop with chocolate.
But I'd start you off with something that will get
Maybe
you
I will.
upset.
Oh, yeah, wind us right up. Go ahead. Tell us.
I got a call from the fire chief, and I spoke with him, so I was late getting back up here because I
I'll
wanted...
do it. What's going on?
He said that the commissioners were approached by citizens from the town of Northfield, not the Northfield Selectmen, that wanted to see if the commissioners would arrange a meeting with the Tilton Selectmen and the Northfield Selectmen to talk about the Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid Agreement.
I knew!
So, also, the chief reminded me that, not this year, but the prior year's district meeting, that had come up for discussion. I haven't confirmed this in the minutes
You
yet.
never brought it up.
I think it
Yeah.
came up once, didn't it?
Well, it comes up a lot, but it
Yeah.
came up
Clark
at the
brought it up.
district meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes up all
Once.
the time across the river.
Right, okay. So, so the chief said that, he's just the chief. He's doing what the selectmen, the commissioners are saying, and seeing if you were interested
Well,
in
when
meeting.
it comes to the fire mutual aid, I'm hoping he does what we're suggesting, because isn't he our representative?
And theirs.
And
no.
he's a Tilton
No,
resident.
they got a
Is he
selectman over
Northfield's,
there.
or they still have a selectman?
They still have a selectman, I think
Well,
it's,
here's the thing, Lakes Region Mutual Aid will not get involved in this. I've talked to the chief over there. They're not gonna decide that.
That is correct. But the chief did say that if it were to happen, all three jurisdictions would have to agree. So I don't know what the
Three
chance,
jurisdictions
The
Fire district.
Commissioners.
the commissioners
on the two
Boards.
towns.
and Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid would have to,
They're
Bring
not
it to-
gonna have an opinion.
well, let me finish. They have to present it to their membership. Their membership, if it were to change, would mean that the other members would be paying, have to absorb the fixed capital costs, which make up 10% of the total budget. Right now, the two towns each have their 10% fixed cost. So if the two towns were to go through the fire district, it would just be one entity paying the 10%.
no, we would be paying 66% of it, and we would be paying an extra, we figured it out, an extra like $12,000. We already paid $14,000 on top of what we were paying because we took it out of the county into here, being direct billed by them. It cost us an extra $14,000. If it goes to the Tilton Northfield District, we will pay an additional monies because it's 6634.
Correct.
Correct. Well, why should we want to enter into an agreement that's going to cost the town of Tilton more money?
You have
It
a
already
good
cost
point.
us $14,000 more than what it was previous years. Why would we want to enter into a, that's not in the best interest of our taxpayers.
So what is the answer to the question?
No, thank you.
I vote no.
Of no, thanks, you don't want to meet?
Anybody? What's your consensus?
They want us to carry the load.
Yes or
Well,
no?
we're surmising that. Does it hurt to sit down
We're
and
not
just...
surmising it, it's a fact. If we
Well, no,
go
it
to the,
is a fact, but we haven't listened to what they had to
if
say.
we
There's-
get direct billed through the
I know
district,
what
we're
the-
going to get
I
66% of the bill.
understand that. But I'm not, I just want to hear what they have to say.
Well, maybe they want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I think we can send them a letter by saying, no, thank you. That just means that we'll be paying 2/3 of the cost,
Right.
because that's exactly what it is. There's no other way to go. If it doesn't stay the way it is, then we pay 2/3 of the cost.
Right.
Now,
We have
let me
the
get this
benefit-
straight.
We have the benefit of being a member of Belknap County.
Yes, as a member,
They don't. They belong to Merrimack County.
correct.
They could choose a different
Dispatcher.
dispatcher.
Yeah,
We like-
I know all the arguments.
So, there's nothing for us to gain and everything to
All right,
lose.
so,
What do you think, John?
It would be foolish for us to.
I know, but do you
forward
think
on
you
that.
could convince them so that they don't keep bringing it up every year?
This is...
Because there's no, how can it be approved? Anyway, getting back to what I was saying before, that there's really no incentive for Lakes Region Mutual Aid members to agree to it, because that means they would all be paying more as well. So Tilton would be paying more, and all the other members would be paying more. Northfield would be paying less.
So why didn't you convince them that, why didn't you let the chief know that?
Oh, he told me that,
Oh, then why doesn't he tell them that?
because,
It's coming to us.
right now, the question is
Conveying the
coming from his commissioners to schedule a meeting.
Excuse
To see
me,
if you'd
his
interested-
commissioners know better.
They're just using
Right.
His
different tactics.
commissioners have brought this up for a few years now. As a matter of fact, the commissioner
And every single
representing the town of Tilton, Pat Clark, is the one that initiated the town of Tilton paying an extra $14,000, thanks to him.
Oh, by having it taken out of the county?
By having it taken out of the county. So thanks to Commissioner Pat Clark,
2 hours, but it's not a paid.
Right, but he's saying what brought it up was some Northfield citizens.
yeah,
Well,
well,
they'll need to find another place to save money over there.
Then it's only signed his own.
What's everybody?
Probably escaped his mind.
Joe and Peter.
I've asked Joe and Peter
What did Peter
their
say?
opinions, and
I would like to have him sit right in front of the camera and hear him say it, just to have him on record, see exactly what they've got to say and why.
the citizens or the commissioners?
The commissioners.
It would be the commissioners.
The commissioners.
What do you think, Peter?
We don't have to change our minds after we hear them, but
Well, they'd like to have the meeting, the commissioners would prefer on a Wednesday, and I think if we had it here and taped it, that would be even better.
As long
I'm
as it doesn't
meeting now.
exceed,
This sounds horrible, but it's a waste of my time.
We are so meetinged out, it isn't funny.
And it's just not, there's nothing they can say that's going to change my mind, because it is what it is. Peter, you haven't said yes or no. I'm putting you on the spot. You're not getting out of this.
Present?
are you the swing vote here?
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Okay, well then somebody swing it.
We've
Just
already got
just
3
say no.
votes that said no, but
Yes or no?
I still want Peter's opinion.
I don't care if we meet, we can meet and listen, we still say no.
That's where
But
I'm at.
like you say, it'll be like 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
That's right. I'd rather devote my time to something that really matters.
True, but maybe one good thing would be is that all the information would go on the record.
We'll set
For
some
future
time on a
years.
Thursday, if they would like to come in between our meeting, we'll give them 1/2 hour to
half
listen.
hour.
15 minutes.
Okay. That's still generous.
But any more than that, we're meeting now, we got 2 meetings this week next week as it is.
Well, it's also a good way to get the word out to our Tilton residents.
You know, that might be fun.
It won't be fun,
It's going to take a lot of time, huh?
but I'm interested in giving it the attention that it deserves. They asked to talk,
I still vote no.
well,
I
I'm a
think,
conditional yes.
I don't hear 3 votes. I mean, I hear
2
3
conditional
votes.
yeses. Go on, John, settle this, let's move on.
Not to exceed 15 minutes.
It sounds like a conditional yes for a
I'm a
Thursday
no.
night
I'm
meeting.
an absolute firm no.
And let's put it out a couple weeks or something anyway.
We
until
couldn't do
we
it.
can-
We have evaluations.
We can't do it
Yeah,
until-
it wouldn't be a while.
It would not be
October?
until at least July, because we're already booked till June, through June right now, and we have some vacations coming up and so on.
And what I'd like to,
I'm an official no.
I do
don't,
too.
because I
Absolutely.
really do think it's a waste of time. It's a lot of money to the taxpayers of the town of Tilton, and there's no value to having it done that way, except to the town of Northfield. That's all there is.
And it's adverse to the
It's adverse
residents of Belknap County.
Exactly.
That's right. So there's absolutely no reason.
So I'm absolutely a no,
Waste of
so
time.
you've got 3 yeses to, we'll book them on a July, someday in July, during a Thursday meeting, come to us, because we have way too many meetings during the week.
Make it clear it's very brief, 15 minutes.
Very brief.
Okay, and then the other thing I'd like to do is, because Tim lives, sleeps, and breathes this fire district apportionment, so I'll get together with him and we can put together the facts, just the facts. So we can get those facts out there on what it would cost.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't forget to put in the facts that it already jumped up $14,000.
I'd like for them to submit anything that they wanted to discuss with us ahead of time.
Prior to. At least 3 weeks prior to our meeting, so we can digest it.
Well, I might consider if we cut the hydrant fees back to 25 or 50,000.
Okay, next.
Just change your
Let's
vote to
move.
no?
Well, that's why I just want to get that
Are
of
you
the way.
reading this from a column that says
Line us right
25
up,
years
Joyce.
ago today?
Way to
Get it
go.
over with.
Way to go.
Monu-
So, what do you want?
All the attention turns to the corner.
the monument cleaner is in.
Yay!
5 gallons, right?
What's his
5
name?
gallons.
Oh, sorry.
John.
John.
Volunteers to give Mabel a bath.
Let me
Do you
just
have
check
your white
with Gail.
suits?
Guess what they're
Are
doing
they
next
going to
week?
bring it back up here? Because it's at the, yeah, Arthur's going to bring it back up here to the town hall,
Maybe
and
over
I've
the
already
weekend?
printed out the MSD sheets.
I think
They're in
we
my
can start on
office.
Mabel.
Are you listening to what Joyce just said?
No.
Hey, you can bring
So
our
you don't
sister, bring
have
it
to
up here.
ask
It'd be-
about the MSD sheets. I have them. I printed them out.
Wow.
So I'm just saving you.
You knew I was going to ask you.
I knew you were going to ask me.
But you want to know what's in it?
The material safety data sheets? No, I already looked online.
All right, moving on.
Jason Levitt returned our call from yesterday.
Yep.
He's the superintendent DOT that's in charge of the Colby Road, Clark Road paving project. We had received some complaints that the shoulders weren't completely done yet, and that,
Cut-ins, yep.
and the
Driveways.
driveways, and that the, where the road,
Meets Caliph.
thank you.
Who's giving this report?
That spoke to the person. Anyway, he called today, he said, he did look at it today, and he says, we're not done yet, and that they still have to put on 1.5 inches of the wearing course.
Oh, okay.
That's not going to fill up some of the voids, though.
He said it's not uncommon when they're doing this type of work before the wearing course is on to leave up to 1.5 inches between the two. He said, I said, well, what about safety? He said, well, in this instance, he said, it's at an intersection, so cars are going slow anyway because they would have stopped to go through an intersection, so he wasn't concerned about safety.
Shh,
The
don't
edge
say
of-
it.
The edge of the shoulder's going to be interesting, though.
He said they are working on that still, it's not done
That
yet.
sort of V approach, though, at Caliph.
When,
Let me finish, and he said that they will be spreading gravel, the width of the shoulder, they call it backing it up, backing up the gravel to the pavement. He said as far as the ditches on Clark Road, they didn't do anything to the ditches are as is, that wasn't part of the project. It's very steep, so they can't do anything about the ditches. And also, I said, well, when will you be doing the final wearing coat? And he said that they're using 2 different contractors with the final paving coat, the wearing coat, I don't know, it's tied into School Street. So they're going to do it at the same time as School Street. And he's hoping that will be within a week, week and a half.
Because I think Pike's out here, because they were picking a sign up when I came in, which is weird, why you'd have one contractor do the
No,
sign.
there's 2 on School Street, 2 individuals, Pike, and,
And Continental,
nope, another one. Not Continental.
GMI?
GMI,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
It was a dump truck,
Yeah.
GMI is Pike. It was bought out by Pike several years ago.
I'm sure.
Positive. My sister-in-law was the office manager, lost her job in the transition.
Arthur gave that to me this afternoon. That's the estimate on what it would cost to have to repair the trench. Remember, he was in last week to get a
yep,
trench
we
permit?
asked him.
So we need a bond in that amount?
So the total's $2637.50.
$26?
Why would we need oh yeah, that's right, because it's going across the road. They said officer for 7 hours for an officer for milling and paving, and then an officer for digging the trench at $65 an hour, 4 hours, and then 7 hours for the other one? That seems extensive. But that's what he's got.
Maybe that's worst case.
Got to
Unless he
figure
is.
in everything.
Okay?
So do you want me to get back to
We need
Arthur
to
and let him know to,
require a bond. What do we want to do, a $3,000 bond?
or would you accept, we can do it as cash, we can hold it in an escrow account, they could get us
Well,
give us a passbook, they
long
could
as
give
we
us a
have a-
letter of
Here's the
credit.
thing.
Guarantee.
if you read I talked to Arthur actually and Dennis the other day, I'm not sure if it was Monday, about this in our application and permit.
Yep.
And there's language in there that basically says the homeowner's responsible for like 2 years.
In the ordinance?
I asked them who they thought should get, we had a discussion about who should post the bond. The company doing the work or the person contracting the company doing the work. They felt the person doing the work should be responsible and post the bond,
Because they're doing the work.
because they're
Right.
They're
doing the
paying
work
for
and they
the
would
doing the work.
Right, and they would,
make them more accountable to their work.
Yeah,
and they just
The
pass that
contra-
cost
the
on to the
contractor.
homeowner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
they're guaranteeing
So-
their performance.
How long do we hold their bond?
2 years, according to the ordinance.
But that's the property owner that's responsible. It's interesting, when we got done, we decided they really, really need
I
to
would
sit
say
down
it
and
is
get
what it
suggestions
is.
to rewrite it.
We have an ordinance, we should enforce the ordinance.
We need to rewrite that ordinance.
Well, that's
Way out
notwithstanding, it is
of
what
the-
it is.
Yeah, it's way
Doesn't
outdated,
make
though.
a whole lot of
So I have some samples from surrounding towns. When did you want to put that on the agenda to talk
I
about?
think what's in the best interest of the town, whether it be in a cash that we hold or a bond. We've done cash before, haven't we,
Yep,
in other circumstances?
yeah, we deposit it, and we also do that with, you just account for it separately, you set up a escrow
But
line
you said
item.
the owner was going to, you said the owner's responsible. So it would
No,
be,
I gave you some information. I
Oh, okay.
said that according to this, there's some language in here that talks about 2 years.
So this, if this would allow the individual to not bore underneath the road, they could go through and cut the trench on Peabody?
Reading the ordinance, I don't think we can prevent them from from cutting.
I don't think we can.
So that was just Dennis's policy, that
Yeah.
not to,
I saw nothing in writing from what I've read.
We, the permittee, agree to save harmless town of Tilton from any and all claims arising from retrenching or other deficiencies. Yeah, for a period of 2 years following the acceptance of the project by the owners.
so that sounds like the contractor then would be signing it,
I don't know.
because they're the ones that are doing the work.
Quite a conversation about it and agreed that, basically, we gotta change this a bit. Dennis, what he described he felt should be done because, is it Peabody?
Peabody,
Yeah.
You know, we redid it just a few years ago. It's not just cut a trench and fill in the trench, that the asphalt needs to be cut back. I think he said 10 feet on either side.
can you hand me that?
Well,
And he's right, what he described. He had a
How
term.
big a trench are they making?
Look like 24-inch by 27 feet.
They have
That's
to
the,
cut it back
24 feet by
10
27
on either
feet.
side?
Yep.
right.
It says what,
Because
Joyce?
24 by 27.
Yeah, but you're not going to do a 24-foot wide trench
24
to
inch.
put a gas line. It's
No.
No,
24
that's so that he can smooth it out.
To 24
All you do
inches.
is a trench.
Yeah, but wait a minute,
So,
hold on.
the
Catherine
trench is 3
wanted
feet.
to say something. Hold on. Go ahead, Catherine.
So,
Yeah.
you cut the trench, however many feet wide they need. I don't know what that standard is, 4 feet,
Well, he says 3 feet.
whatever, for OSHA, I don't know. I don't know how deep it is either. So they cut their trench. It describes in there that when they cut it, they have to cut it, it has to be nice and even. But when they go to fill it back in, they're gonna fill the trench with dirt. They need to cut the
Aggregates.
asphalt back on either side 10 feet. So there's actually a sill or a ledge for the new asphalt to sit on that will help hold it up, I guess. In the concrete world, you would do that.
Right.
Why 10 feet on either side?
I'm telling you what I was told. I have no idea.
Normally, all you, and you're not
I've
going
never
to,
seen that.
you'll saw cut it right before you do the paving again.
Yeah, but that explains why we have on our new roads, on our newly paved roads, that when gas come in or water come in and they cut a square with just a cut, it settles, 6 months, 7,
Because you do base and binder right then and there. The way to do it is you put the binder course in, it'll be down a bit, let it set long enough so that traffic pounds it in. The other thing, what you do, you let them put the gravel in flush with the pavement and let it set for a while to beat it down. Then they dig out, you've got good compacted base. You dig out the depth you want, the 3 inches for the 2-in-1.
because I see a big difference in the roads where we patch, and, 6 months to a year after that, they're,
But if you don't get the compaction right, going the 10 feet's not going to help because that trench area still will settle. That's the whole issue.
The trench is still gonna
so
settle.
it has to be compacted correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so if it's compacted correctly. So what do we want to do as far as, accountability for in case we have to fix it? It's about $3,000 to fix, $2,600.
I'd require a $3,000 bond and we could figure the rest of it out.
But from the utility?
Yeah, from the utility or the property owner.
I think.
Okay.
1 year or 2?
You want to,
2 at least, right? What do you think?
After 2 years, it's an act of God, I
I
would
think after
imagine.
1 year, within 1 year, you're gonna have whatever settling you're gonna have. That's 4 seasons, isn't it? You know more about
Yeah.
asphalt than we do.
well, your big settlements over the winter.
All right, so we'll go 1 year.
And then in the spring, if they put another wear course over at the top of where
But the problem is, the problem is, Public Works will want it flush for the fall.
So here it is.
Wow.
Any future distortion along the trench lines due to settlement or other causes attributable to the construction shall be corrected as required during the period of 2 years
go.
following the completion of the project by the owners.
That's real specific.
So maybe we want to hold
2
it for
years.
2 years.
And then all you do is you mill out the surface course and redo it if it's...
Do they mill it out, or
Well, you
do they
either
just
mill it-
add,
Well, depending how it
or
is,
they add to it?
they may just shim over it.
Okay. All right, we
All
got
right, and
that.
then can we add that as under our old business, add trench permit to that, so we can...
Yes, we'll add it, redo the trench ordinance. Add that to our list of things to do before the winter.
Okay,
We're getting there.
in your to be signed,
Unless we add more than we take off.
is a
It's tough.
intent to cut for this tax year, 14-15.
Yep.
From Haven Grove, John Bernard. This is for his property on Pest House Road. You just signed a warrant, or should have signed a yield tax warrant.
We haven't signed it because it says you have more information.
Well, that's the report, that's the intent. The report is from last year, those two. So he's just filled out another intent to cut finish the pest house property. But the problem is, I received a phone call from one of the residents, Michael Workala, saying that the logger is destroying the road, and that they're quite upset because they realize that it's a Class 6 road and that they have a private road themselves, but they've put money in to maintain it. So I suggested that he contact Mr. Bernard, he has his phone number, and talk with him and say, just so you know, we have to maintain this road. Can you make sure that your logger, can you put it back to what it is?
How did that work out for him?
I don't know if he's
Oh.
called him yet, but I said, in the meantime, I said I will check with the selectmen to find out what, because he does have an intent in. I'll bring this to the selectmen's attention, and they can, remember I asked you, is it a Class 6 road, what have you? Well, what's interesting is that the road is in Franklin for a ways, and then it comes into Tilton. And where their driveway is on the Franklin end.
I didn't see any, I went over and checked it.
You did?
They've got to be hauling out of the Franklin end, I think.
Yeah,
I drove
they-
to the cemetery and looking down
They're
that hill.
they're not hauling that
I
way.
looked down and I don't think anything's coming out.
Well, Arthur, I asked Arthur to go out and
I
take a
know what
look.
he means.
And also Al, because
I know
Al has
what
his camera. And Al took some pictures, but I haven't been able to get the pictures yet. I haven't been able to.
That end
Connect with
part
that.
of Pest House Road is just one of the worst sections, especially where it meets the road over in Franklin. Because it's not Pest House Road once you get into Franklin, it's a different road. Same road, different name. But there's a place where you come down Pest House Road and it meets over near the Franklin line, and that whole side, that's all wetlands over there.
Right.
And that road is not up to state specs, shall we say. And in the spring, I go down there with my car and because perambulation. I spent a lot of time over in that neighborhood, and you couldn't even drive a car down there, never mind a logging truck. I can only imagine what it's doing to that part of the road.
Well, according to
That's the
Arthur,
Franklin part, right?
Only
That's the Franklin part.
several hundred feet of it is in Tilton.
Arthur did do some measurements, but
So I didn't go further.
I'd have to compare
enough
it to
to
the
do
tax
that.
map to figure out where the town line is.
You have to go up to the top of the hill.
We have a
It's
conflagration?
where?
Ooh, okay.
The road,
Is it? Shaw?
the road goes like this,
So,
and that's Pest House Road, right?
it's right here, isn't it?
There's a marker right here, and a
Shaw Road
marker
is,
right there.
No, that's not.
The place where the marker should be is 934 feet up that road,
Pest House Road.
right
Pest
there.
House Road is entirely in the.
Oh, you're on
town of
Pest House.
Tilton.
Yeah, well, the road continues and it's a different name.
What?
House Road in Franklin as well.
They-
I think it's a different name, though.
Pest House Road, it's Franklin.
Right,
it's
but
not our
I know,
road.
but on the other side of the street, it's Franklin.
Pest House is,
That's Pest House Road.
doesn't it turn to range?
This is.
No,
It-
the other
Pest House
side
Road
turns
is-
to range.
Show her the
Pest House
tax
Road
map.
Is Range Road.
That's right. That's right.
It is a range.
And it's a
road.
different road in Franklin.
Well, on Caleb Hill,
It's Range
on the
Road.
sharp
Yeah.
corner,
It's
bearing
range.
to the right, it's, the left is
This we
Pest
call
House.
Range
When you
Road.
go to
Right.
the next bend, it heading to Tim and Maria's,
This
it's
we
the
call
range.
Range Road.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
continues over. This is how the boundary runs.
But there it is on here. There's Pest House. All of Pest
Right
House
here.
Road is in Tilton.
Dinner.
Yeah, well, it continues out that way, but it goes like this. There's no marker here. That's the marker that's
Franklin is
missing.
on the other side
Somebody
of a portion of
marked
it.
Right down there,
So we don't have to
both
worry
are.
about it.
right down there. That marker.
Well, I'll finish with just
Somebody
listening.
widened the road.
Where is the house, though? Is it the house by Caleb Hill?
This is the spot I.
Has nothing to do with
This
Caleb
area
Hill.
Right in here.
Nothing to do with Caleb.
No,
Show him the
but when you
subdivision.
turn onto Pest House from Caleb Hill, there's a house before
Yeah,
that
there is a house
cemetery.
in there.
The place on top.
But
This isn't it.
that's not the one complaining?
No, do you want to show him the subdivision map?
Franklin's.
But it looks like
Boy, that's
all
a
of our
lot.
Pest House Road is in Tilton.
How many alarms is it?
Does Franklin own half to the middle of the road?
Pardon?
Wouldn't Franklin own to the middle of the road in the Franklin side?
No, Franklin's boundary.
No, because the boundary runs
Franklin's boundary
on
is
the other
right
side of the
there.
road. Yep. I've
See
walked
the
it.
road?
Yep,
See their boundary?
yep.
Looks like it's on the edge of the road.
It is. No, it's about 10, 12 feet in from the road, in actuality, because I've walked it.
Okay, so Franklin doesn't own to the center of the road
No.
there?
It goes down to a certain point, crosses the road, and everything to the right of that is Tilton, and everything to the left is Franklin, but this little jogger right here, that little dotted line is the road. And they don't own to the middle of it.
Okay.
The boundaries go straight one to the other, and they're both on the far side of the road.
I thought it was up here where we have those houses that have their names driveways.
Okay, so then Pest House Road,
This is Burley.
if you look at the tax map and the subdivision map, ends at the property owned by Workala, because this is the first, that 10A, Lot
So
10A,
the first house is
That
the
is
one
a
that's
zoning.
complaining, or the second one?
the first one. I'll show you on the map.
Well, should
I know where they are. They sit on the right-hand side of the road as you
Well,
go
all of
down.
them are, but
we require?
it's this lot.
Can we require him
No.
to post a bond?
On a
to-
Class 6?
To repair, well, it may be a Class 6 road that we don't maintain, but we don't want it to be deteriorated by his truck.
Right, they can't ruin, yeah, so this is 10A, right here.
Maintain it in the
Okay.
condition it is.
Now, that would indicate that the road was in Franklin, but it's not.
Or why don't we just ask John to come in and talk to us?
Well, also, when Arthur went out there, he could see where someone had dumped
In the
stone.
conditions put by the abutters?
Where's his
We're
little map?
at the top of the hill where the corner is.
I don't quite understand this,
Why would somebody dump stone in a gravel road?
because it's muddy.
Because the frost was coming out.
And rutted.
It was a mess.
It was very wet this
It's
spring.
a swamp up there.
So, and that same type of stone was also put on their Matthew Drive. And then if you look up a little bit further, some more stone was put up there.
Is it stone or ledge pack?
I don't know,
Well, here's
Arthur
the
said
thing.
stone. I don't have the
It is
pictures
town
from Al.
property that he is taking it
Right.
upon himself to put stone on and whatnot.
No,
Widened it
we
several
didn't do
years
it.
ago.
Yeah.
He didn't
Widened
do
the
it.
road.
I thought we sent a letter when we discovered that to him,
That he widened it?
that he had,
Altered
Changed
the
it.
town road.
When?
when Joe went up there,
Before I went up there to
About 2 years
perambulate.
ago.
Joe found it when they went up
11?
to perambulate.
All right, I wasn't
12.
aware of that.
Summer of 12.
Yeah, it had to be a couple years ago.
Yeah, summer
Who
of
sent him the letter? Because I would have remembered that.
Because that's why the boundary marker isn't there.
Right,
They
'cause they
pushed-
changed
They
the
pushed
road.
everything back, and it's
I
no
think
longer
we
the
need to-
same
Did
at
we
all.
put the boundary marker back?
They completely obliterated the boundary marker.
All right, let's ask him to come in, speak with us.
Okay.
934 feet from the boundary marker where it crosses over Pest House Road, or whatever the name of the road is at that
See-
point.
All right, and see
It's gone.
what's up.
All right, now, again, just to remind you, on the intent to cut, he can go in and cut, he just can't drive trucks in there and move anything until you talk to him.
It's his trees, I think he can cut them, but
Well, we'll put him on the agenda. Can we do it next week?
you guys know how to get there from here? Because driving down Pest House Road is, unless you
Do
got
we still have
four-wheel
Paula
drive.
coming in?
Coming from Franklin?
Coming from
She's coming in
Tilton,
in six.
it's almost
Yeah,
impassable
right.
in places.
Right.
Coming up from Franklin, you know how to get there.
I believe so.
No.
I think I've deer hunted out in there back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, right under the power line,
Yes.
right away.
Yeah.
Grace, did you see an intent to cut from me?
Yep.
Last week?
That was taken care, that was signed.
Last week.
Gail, the intent that they signed last week, did that go out?
I mailed my report
I remember we
to
talked about-
DRA.
We can have him,
Oh, you mailed your report, yeah, to DRA? No, you're supposed to bring it here.
we can ask him to come in next week, and we can have him and then Paula Heiser as long as we can get out by 9 PM, because that's the Tilton School lighting contractor. Okay, next.
And
Moving
that's
right
it, yeah,
along.
yeah. Now, did you get a chance to edit that, to look at that?
No,
What were we going to do? Because it's 5:30.
is this the last thing you have to bring up?
Mm-hmm.
It is? All right, well, I suggest we take 15 minutes and go into non-public and review this, because that's our only chance. Because the officers are going to give a presentation
Yes.
as soon as we come back.
And this,
That's my
Yes.
suggestion.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
and this is part
I
of
gotta
it.
run out to my car.
Remember, you guys said you wanted to keep that?
All right. Okay.
My drawer.
So I'll make a motion to go into
The 1.5
non-public
is
per
it?
RSA 91A:3 personnel.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 Adjustment, vote for yes.
So we're just going to ask you to go downstairs just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll have you come back up for the presentation.
What I used was that directive, the notes from the meeting last night.
Thanks.
Time being 5:50, I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel issues.
Permanently.
Permanent.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 Hey, Catherine, Riverfront Park's parking lot's full and not a single person in the park. That's according to Chairman Hardy, who just drove
Tonight.
by.
Well, where's our police personnel?
Should we move the meeting over there? They can
No, but
dribble
we can
time.
alert those.
But it's
who
town
need to-
parking, right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's for Riverfront Park parking only.
but they'll sneak over if they think they can get away with it.
Okay, who wants the complaint? The captain or the chief? The Riverfront Park parking lot is full, but there is no one in the park. Right?
Yeah.
People have got died there today.
Excuse me?
We had a died there today, so it might be for that.
At the park?
Medical aid. I think it was one of the,
But there's nobody in the park.
Seriously?
well, we don't know for certain. The ambulance took one of the guys that have the lunch there.
Yes. One of them? Oh. The group,
Okay, but there's nobody in the park,
Oh, I know.
regardless of the
there's
reason.
there's a
nobody in the
group that
park.
goes there for lunch,
Yeah.
developmentally
So-
disabled.
LRCSC clients.
Oh, that's sad.
And this is a huge issue with that parking lot.
Okay, we're ready for you. We want to talk about body cameras, and we want to talk about the policy of the body cameras. And I think we're here to
Oh, yeah. There's nobody in the park.
talk about the policy and agree to the policy so that we can go forward and get these out and on.
Just letting dispatch know about that.
Out and available, right? Am I right? I have one question on my copy of the Tilton Police Department policy. You've read it, right? On the first page, no, all set? On the first page, under policy, the second paragraph, it shall be the policy of this agency for Tilton police officers equipped to do so, to record any call deemed in the officer's opinion. Did you change it?
Yeah.
It just contradicts later in the other paragraph.
Section 2.
Yeah. So this is a updated one? Effective,
Oh, mine's already all green.
Thank you.
yeah, all right, so we're going to just say 5/14/15,
How much has this changed?
Just that sentence.
just that sentence?
So,
Okay.
Okay, he's coming around.
All right. So,
More stuff for you.
did you bring a presentation? Do you want to go over the policy first and then do a presentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, mine is not so policy oriented. It's confusing in here. You start out with Taser Axon Flex, and then where it says background, and underneath it says Axon Flex body worn camera, parentheses BWC. BWC is body worn camera, not Axon Flex. And then you go through here and you go BWC, 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 then you go over here, and now all of a sudden it's an Axon Flex camera, and then it becomes BWC again. So here's my question. Regardless of the brand name of the camera, would this policy change? So if you changed the brand of the camera and it was still a body-worn camera, would you change your policy at all?
Only the
Axon
brand
Flex,
name.
we would
So
pull
then why
that out.
doesn't it just say BWC?
I mean, we could do that, but
It just makes sense, because somebody reading that would go, well, is Axon Flex camera something other than BWC?
Yeah, it's kind of like our Taser policy, it references the Taser, so.
Where did you,
But the
I don't think we
policy,
should be advertising a camera in our policy, is the other thing.
yeah, I mean,
We're advertising a brand name, as though the Tilton Police Department is only going to use this brand. You may decide you
That's easily changed, right?
yes, yeah.
So let's just change it and
Yeah, we
go
can,
on.
That sounds
yeah, we can
gross.
take that.
But, you know, I mean, primarily, usually when you look at these, they try to be very specific. So someone doesn't show up one day with
some other kind of camera?
a
So you're only, right now,
So
right,
then maybe you should say in here that only a Tilton Police Department issued BWC,
I believe it says that, right?
Does it
It says
say
that in here, yeah.
then you got to
It shall
cover it.
be the only camera used. I
But
think.
just to clarify, so you guys know, so the body-worn camera, primarily if you guys have done your own research and seen them, it's all, primarily most versions get worn in the chest. Taser actually makes a version that is chest worn. It looks almost identical to the one that we're getting, the housing, it's just a little different, it has a fisheye. Where it referenced flex, this is what is considered the flex portion, which this is the actual camera. So we'll show you the mounting options there, as far as how it's worn. So this is merely, it just says, this is the flex portion, quote unquote. So, but,
so the officer has different options in where to wear the camera?
right.
Okay.
And I'll explain more.
But right now, the policy is that, this is the policy that they will be using it under the criteria in which they'll be using it, the criteria which they'll shut it off and turn it on. So they have to announce that they're wearing it, and so on and so forth. Where did you get this information? Was it vetted through Attorney General's office or anybody?
it was part of Hinsdale PD's actual policy. They use these cameras, along with Eric Daigle. He's FBI leader, trainer, he's an attorney. He's put this policy out, vetted it through other agencies. So it's a hybrid of two policies, and then with the suggestions of board members, we've updated it to the best of our ability, and we'll update it again.
And just correct something that Luke said. He said when we get them, we do have them, right?
Yeah, the
The cameras, we do have them. We just have
Activated or used
to,
anything.
we just have to make sure that we pass this, okay. All right, Catherine's got a couple more corrections. I see the green over there.
What is a private business? I mean, if you're in business, and even if it's in your residence, you're in business, so customers come in and out, what is a private business?
Maybe like a body shop off the back of somebody's house where there's an expectation of privacy.
Wouldn't they have customers coming in and out of that body shop? It's a business. I mean, I can think of one right now, but it's an illegal business.
What about like a massage shop,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
massage therapy, right?
for the expectation of privacy, the courts will sometimes look at the body shop off the back of someone's house or a hair salon on someone's house different than Walmart. They,
Public comes and goes.
I know. We have to argue that. That's the argument we
Maybe a
make.
doctor's office by appointment, these HIPAA rules.
But the reception room is not. Is it?
I think the
It's public, right?
Yeah.
There's a
Right.
debate there that you could have for hours, and
Really?
depending on what judge you have.
I mean, I'm mainly asking like curiosity.
It's a good question,
It just
though,
seemed
yeah.
odd.
We have that same internal debate when we deal with someone, and, okay, are we on a public way, is this considered a private way, due to the fact that it's a...
Public
you know,
has access,
The
or...
guy made the road himself to go into his property, there's so many different things there.
I know
There's
there's
no
one,
good answer.
yeah, there's one PD that, there's a hospital in their area where they don't have any video recording, but they can do audio, so they essentially had to put the camera in their pocket and interview the person in the ER, so they could audio record them, but they couldn't video record them.
So here's the thing. It goes on to say that the officer has to get consent from someone to use the camera or turn it off.
Right.
So if we have an auto body shop off the back of somebody's camera, and people, house, people come in to do business there, some guy comes in to rob the place, why would he have to ask permission? You see, there's no leeway there.
What page you on?
Page 2, 7.
Number 7.
1 to 2. I don't see a leeway that gives the officer to have some of his own judgment.
As far as the private business, well, I mean, he's,
As far as the private business, it says an officer shall get consent or authorize or control that premises. If consent is not given, then the officer shall turn off the body camera. You see what I mean? And even if it says it's someplace else, that's strong enough. If I was an officer, I'd come shutting this thing off because you said no. But yet, if you have a crime in place because the public's coming in and out of what may be deemed a private business.
Wouldn't that be an argument that the officer could use if a crime was, because it says in the beginning that where it has been determined a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed.
Right.
So that would be, in that case, about to be committed or has been. So that would be, but that, it's not really,
Well, let's say there's no crime being committed. Let's say he's in there to interview the guy because maybe he has stolen body parts. But customers are coming and going. That's not a private business. But what I'm saying is, there's nothing in there to give the officer any discretion to go, wait a minute, this really isn't this is a place where I should be turning my camera on. This doesn't allow it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
so it's inconsistent.
Yeah, we had
Well, the officer,
We had a
I think,
long
should-
discussion with the Attorney General on this particular topic at a chiefs meeting, and, some of the chiefs are already using it, have told their officers, if you're there under emergency circumstances or you're lawfully there, then obviously turn it on or leave it on. And some chiefs are saying, when you go into a private residence or a private business, if you don't have permission, unless it's like a crime in progress where you don't make contact with the homeowner, it's a burglary, it's an empty house and the suspect's there.
So in that case that you just said, this should be reworded, because in a private residence, I can see that, or a private place, but not a private business. If you suspect that a crime has happened, you want the officer to follow through
Right.
and keep on going, not to say, excuse me, but I'm recording this, and if I don't have consent to shut it off, that's not going to happen. So that, number 7, should reflect exactly what you just said, Chief.
Right.
I mean, a daycare, you would probably, if I was leaving my child at a daycare, I would have a reasonable expectation of privacy for my child.
Yeah, see, because
But look at the daycares that all got busted for the horrible things people did to kids. If an officer walked in and somebody was abusing a child, wouldn't he want to be able to flick on his camera? But yet he's in that's, for me, a private business because...
How about a private business?
I just think there should be something in there to give that officer some discretion Yeah, to use his brain.
Would he be
That's fine.
allowed to do that? In that scenario, would he
Yeah.
be allowed to do that?
Underneath it says, to gain consent by the person authorized to be there or in control of the premises. And so, we can add, unless it's a crime in progress and it is not immediately apparent that who is in control of that. So you get to the empty house and there's a broken window in the back.
Right.
And you're going in. And I know just from conversations that
Well,
we've had.
you can reference to where it has been determined a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed. I mean, then,
I'd think about it.
I
It
think
is a
that- I think-
tricky,
I
it's a
think-
tricky,
I see what you're saying,
and I
and
think you need to think about what you're going to put in there.
I think the spirit behind that paragraph is if I come to your house because you want to talk to me because your neighbor was,
Well, it's private
neighbor's
residence.
dog was going to the
sure.
bathroom, going to the bathroom on your property.
That's a private residence, sure.
Well, that's the first thing it says inside of private residence.
It's
But
a
so
private business that's messing me up.
yeah, the private business is what, yeah.
Well, or whatever, say you're at the hair salon at your house and you call because you're having an issue with your neighbor. So, I think the spirit behind this is in order for you to be able to, if somebody's like, hey, I don't want you recording inside my place. I think that's, but it
that's
is
covered in here.
But it is understandable
covered
what you're
in
saying.
here.
If we're there for
A crime,
a crime that's going on and you have somebody screaming and yelling at you,
right. If there's a domestic
I would tell
going
my
on
house,
in
say, hey, listen, if they're yelling and screaming at you, don't turn it off because something
Right.
like that can turn into
Right.
something real bad.
what if you're at the hair salon and the husband comes in and there's a domestic right there? You're not going to shut that off.
Right.
I mean, that's reasonable expectation right there.
Work on that.
Yeah, I
Think
could-
about how to give them some,
So, 7, right?
I think there's certain sections of businesses that have private sections versus, because like the front lobby might be open, but the warehouse part is private because it's just employees only.
Right,
So
Or you're there by invitation only, or
Right.
make an appointment, so
right,
well, look at a
Ju-
masseuse.
I think that's a,
Somebody who's a masseuse in their own home.
Right.
They'd probably have an office, but then the back part is definitely private.
right. John had a statement to make.
Not all private businesses have people that come and go. You could have, let's say, a consulting business or a internet webpage where part of your home is declared as official business for tax purposes and used for that area. That would be a private business that nobody normally has access to.
But see, there's
And
no
come and go.
definitions in here.
And that's, that's another
That would give you
circle.
that discretion.
And I think that's what's stumping everybody, is when you include private business in that paragraph.
I mean, this is definitely, we've had a lot of conversations too as officers about this. This is definitely, like, there's going to be growing pains, there's going to be things that we learn. And depending on how this turns out with this paragraph, it might be something that you show up to someone's house to receive a complaint from them, and they're like, well, I don't want this to happen. Well, listen, this is for my safety, and if you want to talk to me, then we can go out and stand by the road and we
Right.
can have a conversation there. It's just going to take, I think, in many ways, it's going to change the way that we operate.
I mean, look at how many domestics that you go to. That's a private home. You've got to change that.
Good point.
Eight kind of
Good points.
explains
What
that a
else do
little
we
bit.
got?
I got a few. Do you want to start the front page or go through and then go around?
Go
Yeah,
around with your points.
Okay, well, going back to the second paragraph would be purpose. Later on in 1, it says also to be used for training purposes, too, and for accurate documentation. So I think that should be added in there. Training
What page
purposes
do you
and
have?
accurate documentation.
what page, John?
First page, purpose.
Oh,
purpose, so you should,
Paragraph.
so what you're saying is that for accurate training purposes should be added into purpose.
Yeah, training purposes and accurate documentation.
Oh, an accurate documentation. All right.
But the purpose on the first page is the purpose of this policy, not the purpose of the camera. Is that what I'm reading? That's not the purpose of the camera, of having the camera.
How to use the
This is the
camera.
purpose for why we have this policy.
Yeah, it just states the purpose of this policy, and that's what we're talking about, is the policy,
Not the use of the camera.
not the use of the camera.
When and how to use the BWC.
Then it should
Where
be under,
that's how the use of the camera comes in. I think.
I think I agree with Catherine on that one, because it is the purpose of the policy, not the use. When and how
It's
to
hard to
use it
tell.
would be under there.
It's hard to tell where this segues from the policy into what governs the use of the camera.
Well, number 2 says when and how to use camera.
Right.
Then paragraph under policy, the second paragraph down would be right here. Page 1.
Okay.
It says, "The recordings made by the officer will then be kept for a specific duration." What is that duration? Is it 1 day? Is it 30 days? Or-
I've heard several of
Yeah,
them.
Aren't there laws for that?
it depends, like, whether it's going to be a motor vehicle stop or a homicide, so, homicide would be for life. And it really depends on the agency, like, there are some agencies that are using a 45-day retention on anything that does not resolve or result in a case that's going to be prosecuted as a criminal case, so, all
What
the
is the
video
policy,
that's-
though? What is that specific duration? How do we know?
It's either outlined by law,
So,
or
because we have,
or it's determined by agency.
Is that evidence law?
yeah,
Right, evidentiary law, or
it should reference that.
Can we
What
put that
Attachments.
information in with that?
Yeah.
What the I understand that it's going to differ, but can we get
attach it to it.
something, yeah, so
You know,
that it's
for-
documented all together.
and going back to accuracy of officers' reports and training, and page 2, number 1, administration, page 2, adopted the use of BWC to accomplish several objectives.
Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering, that's why I mentioned it. It says it on page 2, number 1, but it doesn't say it in the purpose up here, that's why. But as you
Got that,
said, it's the
John,
purpose
yeah.
of the policy,
So
and
you,
the rest is the
you've got
purpose
that
of the
right.
camera.
Got that, yeah. Oh, okay.
all right, next page. Page 2. Catherine, you had more on page 2?
Page 2.
I got page 2 if you don't.
No, I'm not sure.
Under 3, it says the BWC may also, I would,
What are you under, the administration?
Administration.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
it's in saying may also, it should be, is deemed to be helpful. I mean, we've determined that it's not just maybe, it's been said to be helpful, possible, helpful,
And you're on,
and deemed to be.
you're on what page?
Page 2.
Page 2.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Under administration.
1 and 3.
Got it.
And then under number 2, under I, the Axon Flex camera should be must, instead of should.
It says shall.
It says
It should, yeah.
shouldn't be must. I mean,
The location on that
Must
one
and
is
shall, same thing, isn't it?
Page 2, number 2, 1.
Let's
Oh,
establish,
2, 1.
like we're reading the Bible, section 2, verse 2,
Right.
Those shall
2, 1,
not.
yeah,
so that way we're all following each other.
Page 2, section 2, 1.
must or shall.
Oh, 1. Should be utilized,
2, 1 is should,
Yeah, yeah,
2,
yeah.
2 is shall.
yes.
You want it as shall?
Well, I
There
thought
should be no
must.
ambiguity.
Pick one word, must or shall.
I think-
Pretty much use shall, so I think it should be
You know,
shall.
the things that you guys have to think about is you know, things happen. You get out of your car, something happens too quick, your battery died on the thing, so be careful with locking yourself in with words, because then when there's something bad ever happens, it needs to come in under scrutiny. shall's a very strong word. In the state of New Hampshire, any crime that you see, there's only like 2 crimes that say shall arrest people. And that's because you lose discretion when things come into play. So be careful with that word, because that word can come back to haunt you later. Well, your policy says shall, why didn't it happen? Well, you know what? The stuff was hitting the fan. I didn't even have time to throw my uniform. I ran out the door to go help people that were in the middle of the shootout.
But doesn't it work the flip side if we say should, and then, well, I decided I didn't really need it when you probably should have?
There is that double-edged sword. Absolutely.
I think it
I
says,
think we can forgive reasonable.
Right.
I'm just saying shall's a strong word. Take it for what it's worth.
That's why I used it.
All right, next. Let's keep moving, because we're under a time constraint here. You got more, John?
an officer shall, let's see,
Number 7?
These are a copy of his notes.
let's see.
You're gonna finish all that since you've dumped it? now?
Under
You're gonna finish that
two-
since you've dumped it now?
the
Picking through it.
number 9, I1, IX, I mean. When, let's see, if officer fails to activate the BWC camera, fails to record the entire contact, or interrupts the recording, the officer shall document why a recording was not made, was interrupted, or terminated. When do they do this? To whom do they document it to?
In your report that you
Yeah, your narrative.
Okay, do you want to add in the report to that line? So that it's clear where it's documented. We go to page 3. You still on 2? Oh, I'm moving. Page 3, number 3. BWC equipment, where it says, shall be brought to the attention of the officers.
What paragraph?
It'll be 3.
3.
Three.
Okay, yep.
It should be in writing or a form filled out, and as opposed to just saying it's not working, so that
You have
you have
documentation of it.
documentation in
Paper trail.
case something goes wrong, that it was brought to the attention that it wasn't working. Not, I told him. And then it talks about a form. Visual damage will be logged on damaged equipment form and submitted to the captain. Do we have a form?
We can make a form for this.
So we should have a form, and I guess that would be the same one that's referenced in 3, right? So we need form.
Yep.
And then we go to, same thing, we go 8, paragraph 8, request for deletion. These emails shall be kept on file. Is that electronic? Where is that kept? No, I mean, it's,
In 8, everything
yeah, the way-
is done by email.
yeah, I mean, do you have a separate file for that, or are they just all emails retained, or?
The evidence.com has a feature where attorneys can request discovery right through evidence.com, and that's what they're talking about there. So that so we have a record of what evidence has gone out to what attorneys or what defendants, so.
This is a request for deletion of portions of recordings.
We haven't received training yet through evidence.com. I assume since it references that, that's what that you have the ability to. Evidence.com is the program that Taser has in which everything is logged through. So It's like, I believe, like a server database where all this stuff gets logged under what kind of activity it was. And so I can only assume that if I accidentally hit record while I'm in the bathroom or something like
Yeah.
that I could email either through this system or through the town of Tilton email that we have provided, say, hey, Cap, at, 9 o'clock last night, I accidentally hit record, you may want to.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was going to, let's say that does happen, you email the chief and say, hey, cut that part out, and then the chief goes and does it. How do you know that, let's say, further on down the line, goes to court or something, they say, hey, there's a section of tape missing. Where's the request to do that from the officer saying, this is what it was?
Soon it would be either evidence.com, which would be logged, or email, which all of our emails are up to date.
Yeah, see, this is an email to the
Tape isn't
chief.
continuous anyways. If they have no need, it's on pause, just stand by. It's when they feel the need, it starts to record, so they're not going to have 8 hours of video each shift.
No,
when
if request for deletion of portions of recording, in the event of a personal recording.
Well, by the same token, if there's some sort of crime, the lawyers aren't necessarily going to get the whole tape from that officer's shift, because it's only going to be the portion pertaining to the crime that lawyer's dealing with.
So you have a request for deletion,
Yeah?
and it's given to the chief, or
I'm
his
I'm sure if
designee.
it's case-related, he's going to say no unless the case is
And
totally settled.
How is that file kept? That
Says they're
request?
kept on
Through
file, but
evidence.com.
It's,
The email
Evidence-
that goes directly to the
Yeah.
chief is kept on evidence.com?
we were told that evidence.com keeps track of any additions, deletions, or requests for
what about
video.
Officer Salmon requests the
Okay.
deletion, right? The email that he sent to you, what happens to that email? Not the email to evidence.com, but the email to you. You save all your emails?
With this, we would have to, so.
I would assume
I would-
that
would have to print it and
like,
save it.
If you happen to catch me and it records back 30 seconds and I was standing in the bathroom urinating before I get a call where I run out and I activate it, it is what it is. That might have to be on record, because more than likely, we're not going to touch a criminal case and we're going to edit the video. It is what it is.
There I was, taking a leak when gunshots rang out.
And stuff happens. I mean,
I
that's
could
just-
see something like that maybe happening.
That's just the reality of it, So, I wouldn't get too hung up on the portion where if it's going to be in reference to a crime, because more than likely you're not going to edit it. Because at that juncture, you have now lost the best evidence rule, because you can't. So it's going to be, it is what it is. I think the spirit behind this is for the exact thing, if I accidentally hit record after I was in a private moment, hey, do you mind getting rid of that one so it's not out there and I see it at my retirement party? Thank you.
I would think
I
that's
can
why they
bet
would
it-
want to save those things.
And I'll talk to Todd before I do, so I'll
So if we go to page
get an answer
4,
on that one.
No, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
No,
And now, I think Captain wanted to say something on that, didn't you?
you on page 3 too?
Hold on a minute.
Yeah,
Hold,
let-
Go ahead.
hold on a minute. Captain wanted to
Again,
say
we
something.
haven't had the training with the evidence.com, and I do believe it's, when you're dealing with a recording, you can send an email through evidence.com to get approval for deletion, and that would be recorded through evidence.com and would stay with evidence.com. So there's a trail at evidence.com.
So where this is so new to the department, then what we're approving here tonight and proofing tonight, that once we have an officer, or maybe we should have an officer or two, do a trial run with the cameras and make sure that they're, whatever glitches they come upon in their path, then you kind of tweak this, come back to us and say, I think we need to change this a little bit, or whatever, or I've checked with such and such, and we need to change this, because it's so new to us.
Right.
You're not going to know what they're going to come up against in some areas, or what evidence.com is actually going to
Capable of
provide
doing.
us with.
Policies are a fluid thing, and they're constantly changing or being updated. And I think, this is step one in getting this established. before we put these out on the road, we're gonna make sure that the administration and supervisors fully understand evidence.com. Taser actually puts training on, like webinars, where you can sit down, they're gonna take us through, I've contacted them, they're gonna take us through how evidence.com works, how, specifically like what we're talking about, if a guy needs to put in a request, and then in turn, we will take the patrolmen and we'll train all them up and stuff like that. So it's not gonna be something that like, hey, we proved this thing on the street tomorrow. There's gonna be a lot more to go to make sure that we're as effective and as efficient as possible.
Well, the board first has to approve acceptance of the cameras.
Right. That's what I'm saying, that's why it's...
Theoretically, we don't really have to. Page 3. 3.1. Grammatical. By the equipment is the sole property of the Tilton Police Department? Or are we just being fancy and putting property of this Tilton Police Department and no other? I've been reading Shakespeare, so.
Which one are you nitpicking over, Catherine? 3-1, okay, thank you.
Tomorrow and tomorrow.
As opposed to that Tilton Police Department.
Under 2,
This and that.
Tilton Police Department personnel assigned to BWC must complete an agency approved, is that the agency, the Tilton Police Department?
Correct.
And I want to know what's in number 10. There's 310.
I missed that one.
To be determined, well, the X is there.
Was it just expectation, or were you just, somebody was just writing down Roman numerals?
We got excited.
No 10?
No 10.
I like even
Somebody-
numbers.
Yeah, somebody hit it's one of those formatting things that Word puts
I
in there
like
and
even
you
numbers.
shift
Okay.
bullets around and...
Are you sure you're all set with 10?
Well, I'd really like you to come up with something for it, because it gives me the
Okay, now,
Go ahead.
this is going to hurt. Going back to page 2.
I thought we were making progress.
Oh, yeah, I missed this. Number 7, under 2 there. Okay, an officer shall get consent to record from persons who are authorized or in control. Shall get and record consent. So, when they give consent, should that be recorded that they gave consent? So there's proof that they actually said, so they don't say, I never gave him permission to do that, and there's no record that I gave him permission. You know, so should the camera be on, say, you're giving consent to the...
So normally when they're initiating the contact, they're activating their camera, and they're saying, we're being audio and video recorded, and then, is it okay if I come in to your private residence and continue to record private business? And then you get the yes or no, and then if it's no, then you know why it stopped.
So it would be recorded consent, and
Yeah, it would be recorded.
recorded consent.
Page 4,
Page 4. You're pushing.
number 8.
What page?
4.
4, okay.
We're making progress again, Jeff.
Restrictions on using the BWC. Why on earth would you not have them turn them on at a picketing or First Amendment demonstration? Because you never know when something's going to happen there. And I don't think I've been to one that something doesn't happen. Well, yes, I have. Jane, I'll get too excited.
It's I've seen people say it's my First Amendment right
Yeah, something did happen.
to record you. I can't see why you guys shouldn't be recording back or something.
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I mean, I can tell you of a little incident that took place up on School Street that came this close. But,
yeah, I mean, like, the attorney for FBI leader kind of vetted it, and he felt like unless there's obvious
look at what is
violations of
going on
criminal
all
law.
over the
so-
country right now.
Yeah. I
They
think,
burned down, what section of the city was that? They burned it down. They were demonstrating their First Amendment rights and picketing, but they burnt part of the city down?
There's something that says something in there about obvious criminality.
yeah.
There has to be, me standing out there with a sign that says,
But-
Tilton Selectmen suck,
But,
is not subject to, but if I'm beating somebody with that sign, then it would come under,
okay, but here's the thing, if you're going to be proactive, those are volatile issues. I mean, I've been in some that I ducked and covered.
She got
You'd
it
want
on
that camera on to be
Sounds like
proactive to
Richard
see
Nixon.
who the perpetrators were. Not go, wow, look at that, turn the camera on and you missed the first part, so you're just seeing the conflagration.
Well, it does have pre-event 30 second prior to activation recordings.
30 seconds.
I mean, it could be you're out there with
What
them
happens if
all
you don't
day.
have the opportunity to turn it on, something really terrible happens, and
Right.
That's my
you have to
favorite.
react to it, and you don't have the
I
time
think-
to do it.
You know, I think in this case, I think it's obviously a place where the public has right of access, so we're safe to say, turn it on.
Well, that's why I'm so surprised to see it as restriction on using.
I think that maybe, they possibly might be thinking if Luke's out there
WC shall
at
not
Market
generally
Basket,
be
he's
used
on
to
strike
record.
detail for 8 hours, does he have to run it for the whole 8 hours, you know, and,
Right, but
So-
it shouldn't be so restrictive to make them think, well, I can't turn it on, they're picketing.
right.
All right,
I think
Yeah,
we
we
should
can, I
move
can
on.
change that, we're safe there.
what's next? John?
Okay, if we go down to 5.2, let's see. All digital files captured by the BWC shall be securely downloaded periodically no later than the end of each shift to the,
Wait a minute, 5.2?
Page 4.
Page 4, section 5, paragraph 2.
Got it,
So it's 452.
yeah,
okay.
missed the 4,
Okay then.
got it.
Okay, no later than end of each shift, through use of the ETM. In the event that the ETM is down, shall notify, should say, once again, use the form. And the other thing is it doesn't say when it would be. It says, a manual upload can be completed if necessary. It should say within a period of time, you know, is it, so if the ETM isn't working, does the captain then determine whether or not it's necessary to download camera's information, or is it downloaded at the next opportunity or prior to next use?
The ETM is the docking station.
Right,
correct, sir?
and that's-
Yeah.
So the only thing I can assume is like if we lost power is where this is just represented, like something happens while you're out on the road, you come in, and, you know, our policy is that as far as when we have this docking
saying-
station, you come off shift, you're gonna plug it in. That way it downloads, that way it can charge and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I would only assume that this would.
Later on in the policy, it addresses like, if there's like,
Yeah, so, but it doesn't say that it would get downloaded. It said if,
okay, yeah.
John, I think we're thinking with that one, it would be notify the captain by phone, and then maybe captain or designee if he's on vacation.
Yeah.
But,
but it doesn't say if you're actually going to download it. If the ETM fails or isn't working, it says can be completed if necessary. It should be completed at
When feasible or when possible.
when
maybe-
possible.
Because you want to download it nonetheless when
You
you
want
get
to
the
say, well,
opportunity, right?
is it necessary? You don't make that determination. Just-
Right, later on in the policy, it specifically states in like serious events, then, and the ETM isn't working for some reason, I'll be called, I'll come in and I'll download it directly.
So, do you want to put at next opportunity or something, or? I don't know how you'd word it.
as
Reasonable.
Yes,
soon as it's...
next feasible opportunity.
Well, if it's just traffic stops, maybe the next day. If it's assault with a deadly weapon, you run down,
Well, they're
and,
gonna be,
you know,
Okay, then if we
Wipe
go
the blood
down
off and
to
upload it.
that's right, run down.
page 4, paragraph 5, section 4. It says, "All access to BWC files must specifically authorized by chief or his designee, and all access to be audited." Now, shouldn't there be something that says, "All video, images, and sounds may not be stored or viewed on non-police department devices or equipment"?
There's a whole section in here that talks about smartphone later
Yeah,
on.
and I'm going to get to that, because if, let's say, you view it on, like, somebody's personal phone, there's a record of that kept on the phone, or they can make pictures of it.
According to the chief of Hinsdale, he said it would not stay on the phone. If I remember correctly, he said if you look at it on a mobile phone, it will not stay on the phone.
Oh, you're talking about the app?
Well,
That's
viewing
probably not
it
what he's
through
talking
the
about,
app.
because he probably
Yeah.
doesn't understand that there is an app. I don't-
Yeah, there's an app,
Why
but it
wouldn't it?
downloads it to
Everything
the
else
phone.
does, doesn't it?
So it'll keep ghost image, as well as you can be,
Have to ask Tim on that one, right?
you can take pictures from it, of a video playing or things like that. All those can be taken
But you mean from the phone?
from the phone, stored on the phone. Any
Later
Android
on in
phone
the-
will store it.
Right,
There's-
and later on in the policy, we talk about not using, or not releasing that type of video or pictures, because we don't want it to end up on social media, stuff like that.
What happens if, like phones get lost, phones get hacked,
PD, celebrity.
let's say an employee gets terminated,
Boys and
and they
blue.
have a copy of this file on there, and that, how are you going to get that back from, if it's on personal phones or tablets? People can run it on their personal tablet.
Because we haven't had the training with the evidence.com, we've only seen how it works a little bit. And I seem to remember the chief of Hinsdale said that it does not stay on the phone once they're logged out.
So you must be viewing, the app is their website,
actual
so you're
feed,
actually,
probably like a blue-
Because the only way you
It's
can
almost like-
view it is if you have the Axon mobile
Yeah.
software installed on your phone, and they can rig that to erase whatever they want.
So I think if you specify that we can only upload it to a Tilton PD phone device, then
Not-
you've solved your issue.
Personal phones.
But we control the access.
Except
So
for-
if someone does get terminated, we eliminate their access.
That's
But they
correct.
could record, you can do screenshots. You
Right.
can record sections with any Android phone.
They
by
shouldn't
pushing
be on a phone,
the switch.
on a phone.
Yeah,
The
we
two
say that,
buttons, that will do it.
but if I have my phone, it could save my life if I turn my app on, and I could take this and point it around a corner and see if there's a guy around the corner with a gun. So you got two sides.
That's true.
Or if your camera gets lost in a shuffle,
You can specifically, it connects like Bluetooth or however it's done, I don't even know because we haven't had the training yet. But you can turn your app on and take this, and this goes wherever you want, and you can clear a room or a closet without having to stick your head in there and taking one in your dome. So there's a benefit to it, just.
Yeah, but I would say, I get the benefit of it, but for now, I think that would be down the road a ways, and once you learn the cameras and see how you deal with it, but that opens, it may save once in a while, that scenario, but I see much more liability than I do saves with using your personal phone as that. I mean, I do, huge
you're already saying to
liabilities.
officers, if you take pictures at a crime scene with your personal phone, that all can be recovered.
Your whole phone can
The
be
whole phone.
recovered.
Yeah, so,
And good luck to you on that one, I mean.
Don't we have a
I don't
machine
have
for
a
that?
problem with it at all.
yeah, we do.
I don't have a
Yeah,
problem with them using their smartphone, isn't that funny?
And according to this, it says that the officer is unable to save evidence he or she is viewing on the smart device, and that only able to add metadata or view the video in streaming format.
Because of
Well, I can tell you right now, if you have anything on the screen of your smartphone, you can do screenshots. And there's apps to record just the screen, regardless of what software is actually running it. It
Right, it's
records
just
what's
seeing
on the
what's on the
screen.
screen.
So, and then this could get lost or an employee terminated, and then they have a copy of this on their phone, or the phone's lost.
But what does it preclude an officer who has one of these devices on to use his phone to take pictures anyway?
Should they be using personal equipment?
Why
for it?
not? If it's going to benefit the Tilton Police Department and they have an opportunity, as Luke just described, why not? I mean, there
think you gotta put-
are
I think you
police
gotta- you gotta
officers
put
to
your
a
trust
certain,
in
thank you, I was just saying that. It's, not- there are police officers, and
We can,
I think we have to trust them to use their discretion, and, if it was,
We're not getting any of that stuff now.
if it was
So if we
me,
start getting any of that stuff, it's an improvement over what we got going on now.
I don't see
The
the problem
potential
with
for
using-
abuse is there
On personal.
by
phones or
evil
personal-
masterminds,
There's
but
a potential for abuse on anything, but
No, I
I think in
agree.
this instance, why not?
we have to trust the people that we hire to carry guns in our name.
You know,
I'll
if
tell
it-
you right now.
I
if
trust you with a
using
gun,
it
I
as
trust
Luke
you with a
described
camera.
saves one life
I
in
don't
10
trust you
years,
with none.
I'm happy.
And I don't
One
have
thing,
Smartphone.
just-
one thing
have
is
no
whatever's
camera.
recorded on the
Actually, I
device is, it's outlined in the policy what they can and cannot do with that video, whether it's so even a screenshot, if they took it and personally used it, it would be a violation of the
and
policy.
evidence, we don't know yet, but evidence.com may have the ability to tell if you're recording or screenshotting it. And there's that Snapchat app, which I heard about, I don't know it really too much, but I know it'll tell you, I think, if you take a screenshot to the other person. So
Right.
there's a whole lot of technology in this that, and the taser stuff that
We can
I
get an
couldn't even
answer
begin
to
to
that,
fathom.
though, right?
And do you want to put on there?
John, I'll get an answer to
We
that.
should definitely find out what they got going on.
All right,
You know,
moving
in a
right along,
policy,
we
if
got
somebody turns
10
in
more
a
pages
phone-
to do,
If somebody turns in,
and 20 minutes to do it in.
Okay, shall
if
we?
somebody turns in a phone, they get a new phone. This should all be deleted
Not
or
yet.
something. Make sure that there's nothing on there.
Where's that gavel?
Look what you can watch
I'm
on
using
YouTube.
my mouth.
Yeah, I know.
Speed them up, come on.
All right, page 6.
Page 5.
5.
Try, Pat.
Nicely done.
See, the other thing, is there a log for the monthly basis that supervisors will randomly view to ensure equipment is operating properly? We want, see, a lot of times, with videos or things like that, if a case comes up and they say, well, why wasn't the camera working? It always worked, but this time it didn't work.
Do you think?
Yeah, so if it's logged that it was working or wasn't working, then you are establishing this.
Yes.
So if you have that you did randomly review, and that they are operating properly, like it says in that, so you want to establish a log, I guess.
All right,
That's
I have a
5.
question.
that's 5, now
And
on
there's
6.
no numbers involved to this one. I just showed up for my shift, and I go to grab my camera, and I put it on and check it. Up, the camera doesn't work, I'm out of here. They can't leave that station without a functioning camera, right?
We'll have to borrow somebody else's.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
essentially would have to, put that one out of service and then give them
Because
another
it
one.
doesn't work, okey dokey, but then that individual, there's got to be like an extra one or something, or you can use a third shift one and something,
Right.
because otherwise,
Have to give them a spare supervisor one.
I can only assume as well that, Taser has a very good warranty program, just like on our units. They probably send us a replacement overnight or, priority mail type thing, so I'm sure we can make it work.
Page 6.
Question,
I'm
All
on
right,
page
page
5.
6.
I'm on page
Oh.
5.
Progress.
still on page 5.
I know you tried.
Too
It's
late,
quick and easy.
too slow.
And I already had a conversation about the chief about this, and so I gotta say it out loud. Number 3, under 6, the county prosecutor is authorized to review video from the body cameras as she deems appropriate.
Good catch, I don't like that.
I don't either. I think the
Yeah.
chief needs to know. If somebody in the Tilton Police Department needs to know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, it says once the chief has been made aware,
So I don't care, even
Where does
that.
it say that?
She doesn't.
Under
Doesn't.
3. It doesn't say that in 3.
the very first part of that says
That's
that,
the old one, dear.
once the chief has been made aware.
Because it's all green.
It says once the
So you
chief,
did change
Oh.
it.
Yeah, I made that correction.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, I'm sorry, I did, this one's already.
moving right along,
Page
page
7.
6.
No,
Page 6.
no,
5?
I'm still
All right, let's go.
Be happy to know, I only have a couple things, but, and this carries on what I said in the beginning. We need to be consistent. Either they're BWCs or they're Exxon Flex cameras, and I think they should be BWCs. Later on in here, where you're specifically talking, and I think it's towards the back, it talks about Exxon Flex camera, but there's only one place that I thought that maybe would have to be there, but I think you need to be consistent. Either they're body-worn cameras, BWCs, or something else.
On
I think they
page
should be
5, number
BWCs.
1, the Axon mobile software is specific information.
And then you got an evidence
It's the
transfer
software.
machine, which
That's why I said that.
Yeah, there's certain
some
places, but
places that
yeah.
they may have to leave it in.
Yeah.
And then I had a question mark there. In 4, if we're going to use these
4?
abbreviations, and I know you guys call them something different, I still call them
It's
abbreviations.
584, but I'm not
What's
sure.
an FTEP? It's not a field training program, it's something better.
I changed that again. FBI
Read your mind.
Okay, what's an FTO?
Field training.
officer.
Okay. An FTP is, now what?
That was something from Hinsdale, the field training evaluation program.
Somebody
Okay,
give
so you
her a new
fixed it. All
form.
right, good, I'm good.
We did, I think.
All right, page 7, everyone.
It's still, we're
go
going to
past
6.
six.
You're-
You skipped 6.
I'm trying, come on.
The first line, it says, "The captain shall respond to the scene to secure the camera." Shouldn't it be, or
Where?
chief
Wait
or...
a minute,
wait a minute.
First line.
Where are you?
I don't
First
have it.
line, Page 6.
On the new or the old? I'm looking at both.
Already got that one?
You may look at evidence.com.
No, it doesn't say that anymore.
Are you on the new or the old, John?
I marked up the old.
He did the same thing I
The
did.
old 6?
Right here.
Okay.
The new 6
I
says something
am-
different, buddy.
Would be
6, number 4.
Not bad at all.
4.
It says, when an incident arises that requires the
what I
immediate
have.
retrieval of a digital recording, e.g. serious crime scenes, officer-involved shooting, department-involved MV crashes, the captain shall respond to the scene to secure the Axon Flex and maintain a chain of custody. The digital evidence will then be marked as sensitive within evidence.com, which will restrict access to only those given access to this category.
Okay. Captain. What happens if captain's in Bermuda?
He's going to add "or designee" to everywhere you see
designee.
captain.
Okay.
Just so that, like, if he's on vacation and Nate Buffington, let's say, is...
So his designee, you
Yep.
stick in a designee in
To
there.
some people.
All right, so,
Named later.
all right, still on 6. Who's next? John, you got something else on 6?
7, quick.
I've got 2 different 6s here altogether.
I think,
John, yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that there should be something in there that if employee is terminated or turns in, if they're going to use their personal phone, that all the software or related files are deleted from it. So that, because
Or would that
your
be
cell
911?
phone,
Yeah,
yeah, and I was looking, I don't know where you'd put it in there.
Use of personal smartphone is authorized by this department. However, the user assumes all responsibility for the smartphones and any damage occur while on duty. Maybe that is a place to put it.
Maybe I'll put it on the
Right there.
security of media, number 11. I'll put it somewhere under there.
yeah.
9/11?
7,
6, 9, 11.
7,
Page
11.
7-Eleven, across the street.
I give.
All right. What else under that? You're going to add that to that, right?
Terminated employee and
Okay.
surrendering. of
Surrendering
a personal
phone, yeah.
Right.
Or resign, terminate, or either or.
He's only gonna ask you to see the personal phone.
No, that...
You're gonna smash it.
You're going to show that you've deleted the Axon app.
More than likely, all you'd have to do, like anything, whenever we do anything, is you just go in and turn off their password. I'm sure that it'll probably...
But they should be asked to remove it.
And, well,
And if something
Axon
comes up-
may be able to do it also from their end.
I'm
Just so that
guessing
it couldn't
Tim
be
can do
hacked
it.
or anything else, shouldn't be.
All right, so, Are we on page 7 yet?
We're on page 7, yeah.
All right, page 7.
Yeah, we still have.
Don't tease me.
Okay. Under 11C3, embarrassment of, it should be more than just employee. Ridicule or embarrass an employee should be anybody.
Anyone.
Anyone.
There goes the rest of the Tilton PD calendar.
Well, you might state employee specifically, but it's got to have something so it can't be used to make fun of me or somebody down on the
General
sidewalk.
public or-
Jane Alden, that Jane Alden woman.
It's fine
instance.
with that. You could practice on that if you'd like.
Okay.
It shouldn't be used to embarrass anybody, that's all I'm trying to say.
No, go ahead. She's fine to practice on.
Okay.
I got pictures for it.
All right.
Under 6, same thing, C6, page 7, at the bottom there, any civilian requests. Who bears the cost of this media? Just curious.
They do, yeah, we don't, we charge.
Did
So
we establish?
We haven't established for this yet, but
So we'll need to establish, what is it, and it's going to have to be in there, a policy, just like if you ask for
it's just like
police
getting a copy of
reports
a
or
police
something.
report
Mm-hmm.
or,
You have to
it's gonna
establish a
you
cost, right?
How much per page or per byte or whatever, for file,
I would assume it's
we
probably
charge
would probably-
$20.
It's a big long
by
one.
the hour to do it?
You're gonna get bit more times.
probably be the same.
Yeah,
Right.
and there should be a substantial cost to go through and edit it.
Don't get in trouble.
Like just digital evidence, whether it's a DVD or this, might be $20, but we can.
'Cause I know, let's say somebody, for instance, they want some of these copies, and there's minors on there, and their faces have to be blurted out, or other
Pixelated.
people pixelated. That's all going to incur time.
Right.
And if somebody asks for a large swath of that stuff, you could be spending a lot of time. So you want to make sure that we have a policy that's going to cost something to do that, so people won't just be, having you do wasteful.
All right.
8,
8,
oh, Catherine, did you
No,
have
I'm
something?
good.
Page 8,
yep. 8.
okay,
I was afraid it was section 8.
that's me.
Okay, and just same thing is in page 8, 13D, they're referring to approved department damage equipment form, so that's another form that
We're gonna come up with the damage equipment.
we'll need the form, damage equipment.
File cabinets, it
I
sounds
think that's
like.
could probably all be one form.
Damage, malfunction.
Not working.
Not downloading, not working. whatever.
Yeah, you can check all those.
Try it.
9, page 9.
9,
Definitions.
Not enough.
yeah, you don't have T. And I think that's pretty
That's
much
all
what
set?
it is, what it is.
Number 10,
Number 9, A, agency administrator, chief and captain, shouldn't Tim have access to that?
shouldn't who?
Tim, the IT director?
guy. I don't know.
System administrator,
Yeah, I think
because are you guys gonna do that work, or is the IT guy gonna do that work?
I think it's.
he should have
long-
access to it.
Under the direction of you guys.
Right.
Well, is that different than the agency administrator?
Yeah,
Or does it say agency
Right up to,
administrator?
this is agency administrator,
Yeah,
not systems administrator.
Said technology director would approve.
system administrator with
Is something
full
like that-
access to use.
It's
you know
simple
how
to put in.
evidence,
Chief and captain.
things,
Yes,
can somebody
because it's
that's a
covering the
non-law
evidence,
enforcement
the-
person
Right, they're gonna
have
add-
direct access to
Right.
evidence without,
It would have to be at the direction,
so
Of
you
you,
get...
yeah.
right.
'cause he-
Evidence.com is the name of the company, it's
Right.
not evidence per
No,
se.
but the evidence, the stuff
Video
that's
is
on there is evidence, and to have your chain of whatever, custody of evidence.
We have to explain on the stand who has access to it.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you have a non-law enforcement
Right.
officer or person in the public having it, so
Right.
change it to, that would only be under your direction, right?
Yeah,
All right, so we're going to, that's it, everybody.
Page 10,
Almost, Pat.
I'm all set.
They,
Catherine?
Oh, yeah, I was from now.
okay, so make the corrections. You want to show it to us briefly, what it is? We've got
I want to see the movie.
a few minutes,
All right.
very few minutes, but we got a few minutes.
So, we did a lot of research and looking into different body cameras that are out there. Over the last course of probably the last year or two, you've seen a substantial amount of companies that come out with different models for everything has a pro and a con. Some of the weaknesses that we found in a lot of them were, especially during extreme low light conditions, they're very difficult to pick up video. With looking at Taser, Taser's, this body camera here, specifically the Axon Flex, has a lot of versatility, which is very good. The other thing is it streamlines the amount of stuff that we have as far as with our body cameras and our tasers on our hips. Keeps all of our business in an area where we can, a company that's established, they have very good customer service, very good legal division, so if there's ever any issues or things come under scrutiny. So this is like a company that's very established as opposed to somebody who's making something out of their garage and trying to sell it to the masses. In this kit, this is just basically a accessory kit that we got to show the officers and you guys what exactly how you can use this and the mounting capabilities. So obviously they gave us like one of the little phones, and this is just a reference, and these are paired. If we had the power, you could turn it on, and you can show that with the app, you can watch the app is real time. I'm not 100% sure of what the distance difference is, so you could, if it's whether or not it's in your hand, or if the captain or chief could be outside the building and have a real-time feed as far as what's going on. I'm not sure of the distance capabilities, but hopefully that's something that'll come out when we attend the training and whatnot, if we decide to go with this unit. Like I said before, so this is the specific flex portion of the Axon body camera. So what this is this is your camera that would mount on your body, and then a wire will go from this down into the main body of the unit, which is about yay big, and then there's a large button in the middle which you use to start and stop your recordings. So it's very easy as far as manipulation and whatnot.
So that actually is going to stick out?
Right, this is going to go on your body, and I'll show you all the attachments that go with it.
Okay.
Really, this is one of the first, and there's not too many others that can rival it, capable of being worn up above the shoulders. Primarily, most body cameras are mounted down on your chest, in between like your buttons and whatnot. The negative thing with as it's lower is the ability of what you can see when you're dealing with someone. If you were to do something, whether or not if you were having to go hands-on with someone, or if you had to use a weapon or anything like that, it can get shielded a lot by your hands when they're out in front of you, so it can be difficult to see things. Where the Taser has a leg up on the other companies is this can be mounted in many different ways onto items that can put it up above your line of sight so you can wear it. So this is basically this kit, and officers have the ability to choose the way they want to carry it. There's a number of variations the way that you can wear it, so officers will have the ability to make the choice of what they feel is best. This is what's called the low-rise type head mount. So what this does is it snaps on, or rides on the side of your head, and then obviously you can see everything that's going on. The benefit to it being mounted somewhere up on your head or up on the upper part of your shoulders is you get a full field of view when you start dealing with someone, which is a great thing. And there are videos out there that you can watch, and if you just go onto YouTube and type in body cameras, you can tell the ones where you can see where they're up higher. The benefit where you see it on someone's head or on their shoulders is when their body's turning, the camera's turning with them. There are negative things, like if you're looking down right in on your pad or something like that, you're going to get a lot of up and down stuff or wherever your head's going. However, the benefit is when something is going, you're going to see it more in the view of the officer as opposed to something getting shielded by your arms or when you're up. So you have the head mount. The next one, the jury's out on this one. I'm not sure if this is the ball cap mount or if this is the lapel clip. I'm not 100% sure. But once again, you could mount it onto a hat if you wanted to, if you were trying to go like that. Or the other thing is you can take this and you mount it to your epaulet, and it just slides right over it, and then will sit there on your shoulder. Okay?
We
What
hope.
did you just call that?
Kind of like the things they used to have in the military back in the day.
The little mop things.
That's where your berets go.
Or scouting.
Yeah, it's got that.
Is this wireless when it's up there? Or is there-
No, there's a wire that would connect to the back, and then will run to the unit. So, it'll plug in, and then you'll run this down through your shirt, down to...
Would that run down through the inside of your shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught on
How
anything.
secure do you think that connection is?
The magnets are very strong, surprisingly. More than likely, we're probably gonna put it on and throw each
I'm
other
thinking the
around.
wire itself. If
Oh,
you
no,
get,
it felt, when I just did it just then, it is very secure, and, and there's a clip, so you can clip it onto your...
I was just thinking, because
collar,
if
so-
you're wrestling around, that could get torn out, right?
Well, when you have the cord and it's gonna run down through your shirt, and then depending on where officers, if they wanna mount the unit to their belt, or this, I have an older style shirt on, because I haven't got new ones yet this, in the last few years, but the newer shirts actually have a cutout right here for the wire to come out and
nice.
connect into that. So you have this mount, you have the head mount, the next mount that you have, and it comes on a pair of Oakley glasses. You can have the sunglasses, or there's also clear lenses that you can...
Do they actually send you the Oakley glasses?
Yes.
Seriously?
And what do those cost us? Is that a separate?
I'm not
If you get the
100% sure.
kit,
You can get the whole
Get the
kit,
kit.
or you can get just certain ones.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
they give you the option of one. I don't know if this is included in the one.
I see.
But then officers have the ability to purchase other ones that they want if they wanted to have multiple.
Right.
So that mounts on the side of the glasses, that comes with both clear lenses and sunglasses. Obviously, you can put it on, and then
Then you're
wherever
cool.
you're looking, you can, it's, the benefit, I think, of the glasses is it's very secure on your head, obviously. The one thing you'll have to remember, which a lot of us, when we try to deal with people, is if you're dealing with people, sometimes I try not to keep my sunglasses on. I put
Yeah, I don't like sunglasses.
so, however,
Well, I do,
what
but
you
I don't.
can do in conjunction with this is one of the next mounts that I can show you is the collar mount. And so what this is two very strong magnets that hold together. There's little teeth on it. And so what you can do is, so one goes underneath your collar, and obviously I'm doing this fast, so it might not be sitting in the perfect place. So you can mount that up, and now your connection can go right there and it snaps right on. So if you had your sunglasses on and you're on a traffic stop and you went up to talk to someone, or if you go inside the interior of a building and you put them on top of your head, you can just clip it on and then continue to move around.
I get it.
And then this, obviously, you slide back and forth to make sure you have the angle properly and so on and so forth. So those are those two mounts. The next mount that is available is, this is under the collar mount. So what this mount is it's very similar to the other one. It's just a little bit different in the fact that it's a band. And what you do is you just fold your collar up. Obviously, I got my radio on, so it's a little more difficult. So you fold it up, you fold your collar back down, and then when you take this, you just snap it on. It's, once again, it's the high-strength magnet, so it'll sit right there, and so on and so forth. And actually, and that would go with it. That's on there. So, I believe that is what we have for the mounts that are available with us today.
So they send you the kit, and then, how many kits do we have?
They get one per camera, so.
The whole kit?
You can
Not the
tell
kit, it's you get, I believe.
the mount.
You get one mounting solution that you want. So whether or not it's going to be this clip, whether or not it's going to be the collar clip.
So we have the cameras, but we don't have the clips.
Well, each camera comes with a mount, and they said they would make any combination of those mounts for us. So if I told them I wanted all of these, they would give us all of those. They're actually, to buy additional ones of like these are pretty reasonably priced.
Some of these.
Like, what would that cost if you wanted to get that?
Some of these are like, I have anywhere from, most of these are anywhere from $20 to $40. So the officer could purchase, their own if they want. Some guys may be like, hey, at night I want to wear the glasses, but during the day I'd rather have the collar mount. So there's going to be the ability for guys to make their own decision. I think that's what the benefit is. You're not just restricted to strapping it on your chest or anywhere else. You can kind of make the decision. Some guys may like the collar mount versus, the sunglasses, because
And these are waterproof.
Yep, they're completely sealed off from the
I
elements.
just watched a video of the officer wrestling in the pool, and you could see you could see it.
So, there's some very good video out there to look at. If you type in Taser Axon Flex, there's very many of them out there. There's obviously the other Taser one that's body worn, but the benefit that you can see, and it's something that I could do for you guys. If you go and you play a video and you mute it, that's what you're going to get if you have a cruiser camera and you're away from your car. All you get is an audio, and that's when someone's accusations can fly. And it's a very strong video, and I showed it to the chief the other day, and it was a video of a cruiser camera where a guy's behind a car engaging with someone in conversation. Next thing you know, you see these guys spill out into the road and fly out of the ground. And you're like, holy crap, like how did that just go from 0 to 60? When you watch the body camera footage after that, you see the guy actually physically punch the cop, and then they go to the ground and wrestle and stuff like that. So it's definitely a benefit to have this as, you're getting that first-person view and stuff like that. And then obviously the other benefit that I wanted to touch on real fast is when you have it up higher, is the ability to see over the steering wheel, over the roadway, and everything else, as opposed to just looking at that.
Why did we choose this brand? I've been looking at images of others. Some of them are quite cumbersome. But why this particular brand? There's one in here that's similar to that. It's not square, it's round.
There's a few.
What's the benefit?
There's a few things. Number one of the biggest things with these is the amount that we could get and the ability to officers basically almost have their own, unless obviously we had some sort of mechanical issue where one went down. The ability to, I think, a lot of the other ones I saw, the connections were very much like USBs and stuff like that, and I just first saw them breaking because we weren't going to be able to afford to buy a lot of them. And I know Corporal Ashburn did a lot of research in this as well, into looking at them, but from everything that I've seen from Taser, and I've always been happy with their products.
Plus evidence.com is a big
huge
benefit.
Huge.
Right, the storage.
Some of the
Others don't
yeah,
have
some of
that?
the places,
No, there's some that don't have it at all.
we'd have to buy multiple
Some are trying to
servers,
play catch up
and it would be much more difficult when it came time for prosecution and stuff like that, because you'd have to have a very good contract.
What would be the next step in doing this? I know you have to determine what mounts you want, but do you have the capability of having one officer use one for a week and then show us the video from that, or a day to show us what actually the video will be?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we have other video from other units. I don't necessarily know if we have video from these, but we have some video of...
Well, I'm saying the actual
Of
one that
this.
we're going to use.
Yeah, we could get some video.
And that gives you time to correct this so that we can accept this, and then once you get that
Pass it
into...
around.
Before they start using them, we have to decide whether or not we're going to have them.
Unless we borrow one.
I thought we decided that, or we wouldn't have put it in the budget.
We can vote on that right now, if you
We had
want,
that
Catherine.
conversation, and I was comfortable whether we'll budget for it and then decide.
Here's an idea for the magnets.
Well, go ahead, Jen.
Like you can...
Yeah.
So my question is, before you go right there, is if we decide to use these cameras, do we still need the cameras in the car? Because, and I haven't asked the IT director lately, but those cameras in the cars just seem to be horribly problematic. Either they don't get turned on, or they're not working, or if they are working, they upset other pieces of equipment in the car. To reset them is a nightmare because there's no real access to them. I understand you have to unplug it and plug it back in.
I know that
So do we need
Hinsdale,
both?
Hinsdale does use them as their in-car video, so they don't have
I've talked to...
an alternate system, so, and they wear them where they can see over the dashboard. So it is an option, that's one of the reasons we lean towards this one versus some of the other ones that clip down here, because you would just see the steering wheel. Oh, that's strong. Like, I don't know
Right
where
through
they
your
get
hand.
those magnets
I
from.
have
but-
magnets. It's kind of cool.
So I think that, I guess the answer to your question would be, is this gives us the ability to, in the future, if we reach our breaking point, if we're not getting what we like with the cruiser cameras, this gives us a quote-unquote bailout, I guess if that's what you're...
Well, I, for one, I don't want to put invest any more money in the camera system that we have in the cars.
Right.
None.
But I don't want to give up on them either. I think we should, for now,
But how
use
much
both of
money
them.
would you, do we continue to soak
I
into
know,
them?
I run a cruiser camera every night in a 3A that I drive or the supervisor drive, have very good luck with it. You know, it's, the jury's out on whether or not the issue is with the camera system or the computers.
Oh, I think it's both. I think it's all of it.
The user,
We just went to watch videos
if you don't key in
a
the
while
right,
ago,
password,
and the
it
officer
doesn't
forgot to
work.
turn the audio on, because that's my next question. When you turn that on, is there audio in
I
this,
forgot to tell you that.
or is it just camera?
It's audio and visual.
So
The other-
I turn it on and both come on. I don't have to turn on audio and video?
To turn it on, you push the button,
And the whole thing comes on?
turns on, and then if, when you look to that camera, there's a little
Stout
button on
magnet.
top. That will actually let out a little beep every couple seconds or minute, I'm not 100% sure. And so you can obviously turn it up and down, so if you're in the middle of the road, you can keep it turned up so it's louder. But it gives an audible beep so you know when you're recording, when you're not recording. So
Okay.
the benefit of that too is you're not going to be doing something that,
Right.
and record on accident. You should
Right.
know it's recording.
You know it's on.
When you first turn it on, it gives you multiple beeps, and then it gives you a beep every so often, so it reminds you, hey, by the way, you're recording.
So that comes on, the audio comes on with them.
So I mean, in theory, if someone had one of these and they jumped into the new 5A and it doesn't have a camera system in, they can record the video just the way they do with the other cars, so.
I mean, these new cameras for the cars, to me, are a nightmare, because the one system we had before this, at least they were. They may have
Right.
gotten older and worn out. But there was a
We had
point
problems
when-
with those
I
two.
used to watch them regularly.
I would make a motion that we utilize the use of the body cameras contingent upon us accepting a policy and training is accepted before.
I'll second your motion. Under discussion, we're semi-locked into this at this point, are we not?
We have the cameras. We do have the cameras, but we do not have the mounts.
done it,
You haven't done anything on the mounts yet, right?
Well,
Is
no,
this the
they've set
contract, though?
one set with each one, but
Yeah,
if we
there's-
wanted to change them,
There's mounts
swap
on here.
them. Yeah, we haven't done anything with evidence.com. The cameras are free, so.
Yeah, we have 6 collar Versatile cap mount flex, 6 epaulette mounts flex. So that would be, I think, that clip one in the,
And this is probably your following.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And
we
then
do have some
what
mounts.
other do we have? Just those two?
That's it.
We got the dock and all that.
Okay, so you have those already, so now I'm just making a suggestion, so if the board doesn't agree with me, please speak up. I know, I know you would anyway, but I would suggest taking an officer in the day and an officer at night, and utilizing a body camera for a week, and then showing us the data and how it works.
I would like to know more about the overall cost.
Yeah.
Evidence.com, what's the total cost of this going to be? There's initial cost for purchase. And then, is this the same agreement with the tasers?
It's $1,000 a year, right?
Taser, that we're locked into this, please don't tell me it's a warranty guarantee program where we're actually buying new cameras with our warranty, so we'll be sucked into Taser forever. And what does Evidence.com cost?
With Evidence.com, the first year price is set, but from those years past that, they look at our storage capability and our storage needs. So Northwood PD, their storage needs were 250 gigabytes. So you pay by the storage needs, and so they would adjust down or adjust up your bill as needed.
And what was that
Talking to-
first year charge?
46.
Yeah, First year,
4,600?
first year it says 4,753.66.
I think that's with the,
Hold on.
That
that
includes
includes
the-
the docking station.
That includes the cameras,
The docking
Docking station.
station and the mounts.
so we're actually paying for the cameras.
Okay, but, so what does Evidence.com actually cost? Another $4,000 on top of the purchase? Where are you reading that, by the way?
Top, this would be right here.
It says,
Hardware
Evidence-
package in first year.
.com, professionalevidence.com license, a 4-year, it's spelled out in payments. So year one, professionalevidence.com, year one payment is $875.82. Year two payment, $875.82. Do you see where that's the professional.
Per camera?
That's a professional. The basic evidence.com year two payment is $1,440. Do you see where I'm saying, page 1 of 3?
I mean, normally we have the IT fellow,
He's already looked at, Tim's already looked at this and put it in the budget.
well, there's no presentation from him about,
We got that at the budget committee.
Pat, do you have this?
Yeah. Got it right here.
If you
slap
look,
me stupid, because I didn't get it.
on the second year, just the
It's
storage,
4878,
2016, I got 45.18.
18, and then the third is 4870.
And then it goes up to 48.78 for the third year, and then 5,238 for the fourth year.
That's frightening.
And as you can see, I mean, just our storage, which is just sort of determined based on what they think we're going to use, is running over $2,000 a year at that point
Yep.
in the fifth year.
And the bottom line to all this is,
Is there another option of storage?
$25,001.26.
When we spoke with, well, it's what I remember anyway, when we spoke with Tim about this, we said we would go with this for the first year, and then we would look,
That's after.
assess after it and see if there's any other storage places that would use it, so on and so forth, and look at other options.
Okay, but how long is this contract for?
This is 6 years, right, for a total of 25,000,
So what options?
When I talked to them, they said that
5
typically
years.
with new customers, the storage capabilities or storage needs go down, and he doesn't know exactly what we're going to use for storage, but he estimated that it will go down quite a bit each year. And I talked to the chief for
5-year
Northwood, and he said that his bill is half of what they thought it was going to be.
But my question is there an alternative to using evidence.com? Must be.
Tim would have to catalog and file and store it himself. Yeah. There was no other software that we could find that did this in conjunction with the camera itself.
We do that with the video cameras in car now, right?
That
Tim
software
agrees.
does it, so Tim doesn't do it.
I have software for him.
And
So
this is a lot of money to not have 3 bids on.
When we
That's-
first looked at this was the only company that did it.
Right.
After...
It was.
After ICP, WatchGuard did come up with something similar, where it doesn't go in depth like this does as far as storage catalog and sequestering evidence by attorneys, but their system now is if you have WatchGuard cameras in the cars, it will work with that system. So the camera, it doesn't work independently like this system does. This is the only system out there right now that does what it does independently without an in-car video system. So with WatchGuard, their system communicates back to your in-car video, and then it gets stored and cataloged through the WatchGuard system. So there is no one else out there that's doing this camera and cloud storage by itself together. So a lot of the cameras that Luke tried had no storage component to it. So it's like, here's your camera for $800, you figure it out. And that's, all the research I did, they said that's the worst thing you can do is go out and buy an $800 camera with no storage plan.
This is a $25,000 contract.
Catherine, we knew this back in October, September, when
And
he
the
was looking for it.
conversation then was, we would discuss this. We're going to put it in the budget, and we'd have a conversation about it. We weren't voting to use it, just like there's other things in the budget that we put in.
It has a non-appropriation clause in it, and he did say that they will adjust down our storage each year. So if they're estimating we're going to use...
But there's nothing in the contract that says that. That's somebody over the phone. We've already experienced that with the in-car cameras.
Yeah.
I mean, he sat right in Luke's seat.
Yeah, Catherine's right on that one.
If he was here right now, you'd have to arrest me. So, I'm sorry, if it's not in the contract, it can't be considered binding. That guy could go to work for somebody else.
Well, as long as Tim looks over the contract and sees if...
I don't want to spend money to support both systems.
I think one can do it.
I think the system in the car has...
Then what are we going to do with the ones that we have in the car?
Use them till they die.
Put them on a shelf and send them back.
Okay, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. Then we're still going to use them until they break.
Until they break, and
Okay.
then send them back and say,
Sell
"You're
them on
on."
eBay.
Yeah, once they're broken.
And I would no longer be their ambassador. We were supposed to be the ambassador for this. And I think we should let them know just how their ambassador
All right,
feels about their product.
He said embarrass.
Like to call the question?
let's, yeah, we have a motion on the floor. Is there any more discussion?
For,
Although,
what's the motion?
the motion was to allow the use of the body cameras, contingent upon the final approval of the policy, the written policy, and training. They're going to try it for a week and
Bring the video back.
bring the video so that we can see the actual video of one in Tilton.
It just,
And no more spending money on the car cameras?
Well, that, we can
do
make a
this
separate
separate.
motion for
Just
that.
to comment on
Just a
that.
policy.
I think we should review the contract and accept the contract before we say go ahead and start using them and accepting the policy. Is this the contract that we really want? Is this going to fit us?
It's already been signed and
One we've
delivered.
signed.
Yes, but quite frankly, it wouldn't be hard to invalidate it because it's not an authorized
It's not,
signature.
yeah. I mean,
All right, I'll call the question. Wait a
I
minute.
call the
Hold-
question.
Yeah, I know you called the question, but can I amend the motion to add that we will not spend any more money on the in-car cameras, and we will utilize the body cameras
I will
as the
amend my
primary source?
second.
Okay, all right,
You happy now?
happy now? All right.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, God, this is hard.
Aye.
This is hard.
Yes.
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 Wow, that hurt.
Opposed?
I'm going to say no till we know what we got for a contract. I mean, I'm all...
We've got a
just to let
contract
you know.
right there. You've
Unless
got it
you
in
wanna
your
fight
hand.
it.
What we've got, John.
Well, it's never one I renewed, went over, or I didn't see a 3 bids on any of these, so... and it's-
We have a contract, it's signed, sealed, and delivered. So the motion passes. So could you assign a daytime and a nighttime? And then in 2 weeks, we,
Yeah, I was saying,
Give
give us
us-
a little bit of time because we got to charge these units. We got to make sure that the officer understands how it's working, make sure that we
train that, right?
set it up and
You mean you haven't taken it out of the box?
2 weeks is good?
Excellent.
Just want to let you know, I'm for having them.
Right.
I just want to make sure that we do things, the right way.
I do believe that the signed contract that we have should be gone over by the finance officer to spell out exactly what our
know what we're getting.
responsibilities are.
He's already looked at it.
Yeah, but is there, well, I'll talk
Is
to
it
him.
possible to sell the,
How we knew
You know,
that there was
once we
another
get
signature on it.
these going,
right.
to sell the in-car
Spell
video?
out what things.
There's a sucker, what
Oh, yeah,
did
we
P.T.
gotta-
Barnum say?
Half with grant money.
Can we gift it to,
So we
In
only sell them
exchange?
at half price.
Don't tell anybody.
in a salad bowl, your mother-in-law gave you.
yeah, it's like a fruit cake.
Christmas sweater.
We've spent at least an hour and a half on what we thought was only going to be about 45 minutes, so we really need to move on. We have an agenda that's going to be here till 10 o'clock, so I thank you for coming in and,
When will they be back? Next
Nice
week?
presentation.
weeks.
Couple weeks?
We'll have
Couple
them
weeks.
You guys need
post
some help
these changes
finding, like,
on
28.
Google
videos
Drives.
and you want
Yeah.
some
The
time,
cap.
you get
Will you
some
do
by
that?
the PD when I'm working.
yeah, and give them to us. That would be great.
In reference to like
Old and new,
how these look, but we're going to produce our own.
yeah,
I would like
where
to
you've
see
changed it,
the difference
so
between
that
those and the in-car.
he can see where you've changed it.
Can you do
It's a
that?
Google Drive
There's some right
automatically.
online with.
Oh, changes it,
Yeah,
okay.
automatically.
Even
That's
have
fine.
one running while you got
Got
it
it.
on there.
Just the changes, that
Now,
would be
this,
good.
this would pretty much necessitate the use of that camera shoulders or above, correct?
Right.
Because if you hook it on your belt, you can't use them as a car camera.
Right.
I'd rather have it up high anyway.
Well, after looking at the videos, it seems up high is definitely gonna be better.
All right. Thank you very much. Are we out? What's that?
There's plenty of copies in there for everybody. Just some training information I put together for you guys, so
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you
This
guys
is,
have a list of.
we did this last year, too.
Current last trainings, every training that the officers done.
Do we have, oh, okay. We
Thank you,
can,
Luke.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Night.
couple to Joyce. All right,
And then I have copies of my report, too, so,
okay.
Do they need to be certified on the TASER every year? Every 2 years?
That's the,
We just got them.
yeah,
This is the camera certification?
no, that's the TASER device, electronic device, and
No,
then
the-
those are yes, those, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, we have those
Yeah, no, you have to.
for a number of years.
That's just like firearms, you have to go, that's what Joe went through,
Okay, so you go, how often?
every 2 years.
That's my question.
Yeah, that's anything like OC, handgun, rifle.
What is medical
Page
training?
1, number 2.
What is such a, what is medical training? That's such a random,
Luke, can you,
Your buddy.
Corporal Morrison, medical
Could
training.
ask him
out on medical.
how close to 1
Out
o'clock
on
they're
medical.
going on that day.
Oh, so that's
So we
not
have to,
type of training.
yeah,
Telephone conference with
Just advise me
Judge
that-
and
I thought it was
Judge
pretty
Been on medical.
broad.
Sorry.
Yeah, and so Perillo is the same thing.
right.
What is a narc to drug?
That is the drug, the drug kits to
Narcotics.
identify a narcotic, so like you put it in, you break the capsules, drug test kit.
Clam lab research? Is
Clandestine laboratory,
That's a,
Ku Klux coming to town?
Is it like the things that they,
methamphetamine labs.
yeah.
it's
they
like
found.
when that lab blew in Franklin, that house.
Or out
Yeah.
in Route 3?
Yeah,
Amphetamine?
Methamphetamine is stuff you make out of like pseudo.
Question on number 5, Chief.
Well, you
I thought
can't,
that was crack.
3B had the strut mount replaced.
Yeah.
At $170. That was not something that Arthur could or had time to do.
yeah, he couldn't, and he actually told us to take it there.
You checked first.
Yes.
That's okay,
He doesn't
that's,
have the tool that compresses the strut.
yeah.
it's
I
like-
can see where that would be a specialty.
He said,
$4,000.
Yeah.
he said, there's no way I want to touch that.
where's Lita?
Is the
Law Enforcement Executive Development Association. It's, yeah,
through the FBI.
it's basically like command level training.
What do they teach you to do?
They put on different schools, they're the ones that are hosting that relations.
Hey, Chief.
Yep.
Supervisor school.
The Watson, May 19th.
They did our.
Judge Gordon had said 1 o'clock. Is it going to be right at 1, or is it going to be like a list of?
FBI.
No, I think it will be. There was some speculation that there was going to be some bail, but that's no longer from what I'm told today. The latest update is not getting out.
I had heard family was telling the mother not to.
Yeah, detectives told me today that no one's posting, so.
He's the guy that writes a lot of these policies, a lot of things.
I'm going to see if I can try to make it. I've got a telephone conference with probate judge in Portland.
Oh, and he does the trainings?
30 that
At
day.
2:30? Yeah. Oh, so it's a telephone.
Telephone. Of course, cell phone reception in Franklin's not always that great.
It's like 2 cups and a string. I mean, yeah, usually something like that,
Now, the,
thinking it'll be right at 1, but
the lie
I can
detector.
find out for you.
You
That
guys have
Todd
certified, do they need
Crandall,
to get
the
recertified?
Road to Recovery presentation at the high school, I attended, and he had quite an impact on some of those
And we
students.
can check and see if
had
he needs to
40 or
recertify
50%
Who do
of
we
the
have?
assemblage crowded around him to ask
only one that's-
questions and to hear what he had to say, and
He was pretty impressed. He said that was like probably one of the
We
most
had somebody
questions he's
else.
gotten at a presentation. So that was
Good.
good. Kudos to the
We had
students.
somebody else that was trained. Is he going on the lie
He's
detector?
coming
So-
back in June.
In June?
He's doing another school in New Hampshire in June. Just Todd Crandall.
Starting Monday.
The building, under building, the parking lot, the Frosties and so on and so forth, I took a look
We're
at that,
going January.
and it really is in bad shape. Can we just kind of get an estimate of what it's going to cost us?
Do you want me to?
A couple estimates from different people?
Sometime on
Yeah.
that lie
Parking lot?
detector, see if he needs
Not-
to.
To do what?
Sort of, Public Works, checking it out.
I want
This is kind
an estimate of
That's
the
all you need
parking
to
lot, what it would cost to do the parking lot,
Where?
to pave
the
it.
PD.
Isn't that Public Works?
Yes.
Seems like it would be, I think.
Public Works, it's town property.
They didn't do the last one.
Well, they should have.
Do you want me to ask Arthur to get?
Who got,
Ask Arthur.
who got all the bids and whatnot for the parking lot over here? Public Works. If they can do the town parking lot, they can do the
I mean,
PD.
getting the bids. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're telling me they're going to do it.
Oh, no. It ran through Public Works. It ran through Public Works.
Joyce
Okay.
is the liaison.
Can you ask Arthur or Dennis to get
Estimate for the police.
quotes for the PD? I would just want to see how much it's going to cost us. Either we do it this
One
year.
way or the other.
Whatever, reclamation and paving.
Can we
What do you
write
think?
something
Well-
out so everybody this time is bidding on the same thing?
Apples
We
to
got
apples,
estimates for that parking lot over there. They didn't all bid on the same thing. The
No,
square
and
footage
you
wasn't
didn't
even the
actually give
same.
it to the low bidder if you
No.
backed it out into quantities.
You
Right.
don't necessarily get the low bidder. You have to have somebody
All right,
with
should we write it up?
Just something
capability.
The low
simple.
bidder is
Yeah.
reputable.
All right,
Having-
so we're
Whether
going to do that.
reclaim or.
We didn't
come
choose
over.
that person. I
I
can't
wanna
tell
be-
you
All right,
why.
back to the chief's report.
Because it wasn't bid at apples to apples, and someone
What's an
had a
ORC
higher
crew?
price.
Organized
than us
retail
Because
crime?
it was lump sum,
Really?
which is the worst way to bid it.
Well, we have to get apples to apples this time.
Well, it should be by a unit, either ton or square yard. Lump sum's easy, because then you have no work on your own.
Joe, you had asked me training, like we had two guys go to that driver training today.
Yep.
Um,
You did?
Yeah,
That they were required to go?
it was, yep. And so,
Dawson and Ashburn.
right, and so you had asked me what that cost would look like, so,
Yeah.
for the 8-hour day, $222 for, the officer, and then $246 for the supervisor, for 8 hours.
When they go out like that, was that held here or was that held somewhere else?
No, down in Concord.
So do we send
and
them in a car? Do we pay for their lunch? How does that work? Just curious.
They can submit a reimbursement lunch
If they're,
for the lunch.
inclined.
But yeah, we would have them take a car or pay mileage, and they usually take a car. It usually works out less
it's
than
about
mileage.
$500.
So if they take a car, does it clear out your parking lot?
Yeah, they said the training was outstanding. It's a car control training that property liability offers.
That's one I'd love to take.
Did we have anybody from Highway go down there?
Go down here.
To the driver's school?
It's that.
I think this is a different set of skills.
That car control class. It is open to all
Property
departments, so it's not
liability.
PD only.
This is,
But they sent them to me, and I usually send them to you and Dennis.
Right.
I didn't receive them. When was it?
They had, well, we sent 2 officers today. There's about half a dozen dates throughout the year. So you just sign, the captain signs people
what kind
up.
of skills are they teaching down there? Pursuit?
It's, no, because it's actually, it's geared towards all town employees. So it could be, it's backing, forward, cones, all of that,
Parking around chief cars?
everything.
Cindy.
I'm glad you
So,
said the corner.
How many, that's held a couple times a year?
I think they have to pay for it. They hire a vendor. It's a Scotty driving school, and I think they're budgeted for about 6 dates per year. So the captain has the additional dates. So if someone's interested, let us know.
Yes, well, we want to get that information to Public Works, Joyce?
Yeah.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
online right now.
Perfect.
And then just going down, the U.S. Attorney's Office did take the counterfeit case, so it's never a guarantee that they will, but if they think it's a solid case, they take it, and so this week we found that they did. And I can say this one because it's not confidential, but we're going to be doing warrants this week for the School Street burglary. So, and I know.
For the what? Oh, I see, yep.
Do you
yep,
remember the
yep.
burglary where the dog followed the suspect?
Yeah.
That one.
Very nice.
Yeah, we just got the evidence back from the state lab on that one, so we're ready to make the arrest on that. And then detectives picked up some new cases this week. There's another case that's an older robbery case that we're going to be able to hopefully make an arrest on soon, too, but I really can't talk about that one yet. And I think some of the people who came to the Budget Committee meeting at the PD last night got to see the 5A, but that's all lettered. So on May 25th, that would go to OME to have all the equipment put in it.
How long a time will they have it?
It's usually 5 to 7 days if they don't have anything else going on and all the equipment's in. But that's, the appointment is for May 25th.
Also with that, which car is coming off?
Has the rest made that determination?
Because we
Yeah,
need to get some space in the parking lot and
Right.
get rid of cars that are,
He hasn't told me which one of the 6B or the 6C he was
That
going to
was a
take.
C, but
But I want to think it was a C, too.
I think it's a C.
And
But
so-
we have to ask him. He's coming in next week.
Is he?
We'll ask him, yeah.
Find out.
yeah,
Which car?
one goes on, one goes out.
We're still continuing Project Safety Cone. That'll run through the summer. We've already gone through 200 tickets to kids.
Nice.
And Dairy Queen's okay with that?
Yeah, oh yeah. So
Really?
we're going to keep it going.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, they can't get
I'm
there
guessing
without-
they sell a cone to each and every parent, too. I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking that's exactly.
It's, I see it on Facebook, and just the interaction with the youth, it's just perfect.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Kids are loving
I
it.
like it.
Yeah, I do too. It's really great.
And then, obviously, we have the Fish and Derby Sunday.
What time?
People get there about 8:30. We blow the whistle at 9. And that will go till noon time. And we'll have hamburgers, hot dogs there, hot chocolate, coffee, all that sort of stuff. The Rotary will be selling all that. The money goes towards scholarships and community projects, so it's all for a good cause.
What time is the law enforcement memorial?
That's 10 o'clock on the 22nd down in Concord. So Stephen Arkell's name was added to the wall down in DC this week. It'll be added to our wall on May 22nd, that Friday.
How many of the officers from the Tilton Police Department will be in attendance?
Not sure yet. We have to see, schedule-wise, who we can let go down, and so I'll have to sit down with Luke and kind of see how the numbers look, but...
And I hate to be crass, but what does that cost us?
Yeah, I mean, if we get down, we're down there from 10 to 11, so an hour.
Half hour down, half hour back, hour at the place.
Yeah, so
2
if you
hours,
said-
we pay the officers to attend?
If they're on duty and we let them go down, yeah. There are some departments that send 10, 15,
Well,
20.
on-duty officers shouldn't be off-duty to go down there, should they? I mean, maybe you or the captain, but
I think this is a special enough event.
Yeah, there's nothing to prohibit them from
I
going
didn't
on their
say
own.
I would like to preclude anybody. I just want to know what it's going to cost.
Right, right.
I'm consistent if nothing else.
If,
I think that, we're very, very fortunate that we don't have somebody on that list.
I agree.
would think that it would be a nice thing for them to attend.
I agree.
United
What does it
States.
cost?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
It's probably...
If it costs $500,
So-
okay. But I just want to know. There's
I
a
mean,
cost
typically
to
what-
everything, and I
yeah.
want to know what we spend money on. That's all.
right, typically if officers want to go, they ask, say, hey, can I go to the memorial on Friday, chief? And-
If I'm off and I want to go down there, I go down, I can wear my uniform, but I go down on my time, right?
Yeah, and you could go in plain clothes, you can go in a shirt and tie, you can go
Yep,
off.
yep,
and
yep. I mean,
so-
as an officer, I wouldn't
Right.
necessarily put in for hours on that.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. I mean, if they want to go on their own, they're welcome
They won't
to.
be scheduled to go down there.
Yeah, no, we don't.
So the public's welcome, so we can go
Yeah,
if we want to go
absolutely.
down and support that, okay.
And
Where is that going to be held exactly?
it's actually right by the State House. So
the
behind...
Capitol building.
Yeah, between the Legislative Building and the State House. It's on the corner of State Street, right between
Where the crowd will be.
Yeah, where the crowd will be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's motorcycles, horses, the bagpipe band.
It's to the left of the Legislative Building.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right on that corner.
Oh, no.
I'm sure I can find
If I
it.
can, I will.
Yeah. Thank you.
10 a.m. you say, right?
We can ride down together if you want.
Okay, that'd be great.
Maybe I'll go down.
And,
Hey, I'm supportive of the men and women who do the job of police officer. I got nothing but respect and love for that crowd. No doubt.
yeah.
Even though I complain, bitch, about the cost.
And then I just want to, it's not in the report, but we got the indictments after I did this report. So, just our indictments for Tilton PD today. We had, two for possession of, this is Detective Buffington, 2 for possession of drugs, 1 for sale of controlled drugs, a second for possession of controlled drugs, another one, sale of controlled drugs ×2, another one, possession of controlled drugs, 1 for receiving stolen property, 1 for possession of controlled drugs. So that's just Detective Buffington. Detective Keeler, attempted theft from a building, willful concealment, possession of controlled drugs, possession of controlled drugs, possession of controlled drugs.
Question?
Yep.
Controlled drugs is marijuana, or is it heroin, cocaine, phenobarbital? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's, I don't have it in front of me, but just knowing these cases, that it's either going to be meth, heroin, or cocaine.
So
one of those.
primarily a harder drug than, say,
Yeah,
marijuana.
Yeah, because that would probably
Let's
end
just
up in
say.
district court. So
Yeah,
these are the felony
Those
stuff.
are
going to
felonies,
Superior
okay.
stuff. And then Detective Keeler has
There's marijuana.
1 for intent to sell. So they did a lot of work. So these are the indictments for this month, and you're certainly welcome to take a look if you want to.
And who is our current prosecutor?
Chris Paquette.
And who is our potential prosecutor?
That hasn't been
That's
decided
not
yet,
the topic
And that's-
for this moment.
and that's non-public.
Okay. I'll wait till then.
Good
And-
job for the detectives.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Yeah,
job.
I think it's,
And then,
Just dropped him in the Marianas Trench.
do you remember we had to have quite a bit of transcription done on a case?
Yes.
It's a November 214 case. It was aggravated felonious sexual assault on 2 minors, 2 children. On May 4th, detectives went to court, and Eric Seller, I can say this because it's public knowledge, pled guilty to aggravated felonious sexual assault and endangering the welfare of a child. And so that was a long case. It took a lot of work. Detectives put an enormous amount of time on there. They had to do search warrants on computers, on phones, on cameras. We had to have a lot of transcription done, and I think all that paid off, obviously, because he ended up pleading guilty, so it's not going to go to trial.
Good.
Did they
So-
sentence him?
Yeah, so he's been in jail ever since we arrested him last November. So that time in jail since last November counts, and then got 12 months, 12 months stand committed, 3 to 7 suspended for 10 years. So he's essentially going to have that 3 to 7 hanging over his head for 10 years, 5 years probation.
Well, he's
So
going to be in county.
he'll be in county jail the rest of the year, so.
That's,
And that was that's what he pled to, so.
For aggravated sexual assault on a minor. Still seems sort of like a slap on the hand to me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
That's a,
glad that he got something, no doubt, but
yeah, so whatever the sentence is, we don't set that, we bring the case forward, we do the
he
best we can
pleaded
with it.
guilty so that he could get a sentence like
Yeah.
this, though, correct?
Yes.
And that's between the county
wrong.
prosecutor and the judge?
That is so wrong.
Yeah, so,
Be down at the Hilton. Well, Helen's
Well, he's got a 3-7 over his head, but
Yeah, Ellen's Hilton. Because it's a Hilton up there with TV and everything.
and,
Trust me.
And I'll give Gail a
that the
copy of,
Crowbar Motel.
Berlin or something? or-
it's not a very nice place.
and I think, I
Taking
mentioned
the
it, I think I mentioned it at the Budget Committee, but I did get a quote to put that Clean Agent install into the computer server room.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I did get
Do you
that.
remember the agent that if, in case there was a fire
Fire and,
in the,
Oh, fire suppression?
in the
Yeah,
control room?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it, so why don't you
yeah.
gas?
So obviously,
Tim seen it?
Yes.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Well, tied in
Former
with,
students.
yeah. Oh, so, I mean,
oh, they're students and what?
yeah, obviously would have to get quotes, but that's just a kind of a starting point.
You like that one?
I'm looking, what?
Uh-oh.
This is just a potential thing, right? We haven't signed any agreements?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the boxes are,
Yeah, no, that's just a quote. It's just a, because it came up.
Has Tim seen this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He has a copy. Yeah, it's just at this point, just
You know what,
That
let the
one
insurance, back it up somewhere else, let the insurance pay for the fire damage.
Well, we don't want the stuff to burn, because that would be very bad. We'd have to replace the equipment or
The insurance.
insurance. It's gotta be a
insurance
deductible if we don't have proper fire
Yeah, but it's
Joe,
the
if
data.
the building catches on fire to the extent that the sprinklers go off, that's not going to be,
Oh, no, it won't be pretty.
it won't be pretty, we'll have a lot more to deal with
right.
than worrying about the server, because,
Well, if that's what it takes, but gee whiz, just kills me.
I can't see spending that much money.
Yeah, I know.
No, that's okay. No,
You all right?
I don't-
No.
Just the oh my gods alone.
The equipment's all
I
right.
think I actually said the
No,
same
it's
thing
not.
when I
No,
opened
it's
it.
not.
No, it's not.
I can't see.
No.
All right. Okey-doke. So, that's your report?
That's it.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited what the detectives are doing. You know, I think we've got the best detectives in New England here.
Thank you.
I really do.
Yeah,
They're
I do too,
outstanding.
actually.
They're outstanding, and I hope at some point in time we do have a congratulatory,
Night
because
for them.
they're outstanding, outstanding.
Yeah, they're doing some incredible work. I mean,
Clean up that School Street one, and another one's coming, all these drug indictments, and
What about the prostitutes or whatever?
Yeah.
Are we working on that?
yeah, oh, yeah.
Seems like there's gotta be something.
I don't want to hear how, so. Okay?
Chief, is the police department involved in the Walk for Addiction awareness?
We're going to be, yeah.
You're going to be, so you are involved in that, you're taking part of that.
I already gave my t-shirt size, yeah. But we will be, yeah.
There'll be
And then-
direction
And then
on
we'll be
traffic.
helping with traffic and all
So
that,
you are
too.
associated with the event? Okay.
There'll be additional officers on duty that day?
Yeah.
What time does that start?
What is the,
How much is
What
that
does
going to
that
cost?
How many hours are we looking at?
well, typically, if we have a day like that, Luke will try to put a couple part-timers on.
Yep, so it won't be overtime at least.
What
Yay,
time does
good.
it start?
11.
Thank you.
And that's at the middle school, high school area? Just go to the crowd?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little irritated right now. The school district wants the two young ladies that are putting it together to have insurance. They got a quote for $208. So I tried PTSO, they can't, but I'm going to Plan B, and I've got the art club is willing to co-sponsor, so if it's a school group co-sponsoring, I think then we can use the School district policy, I'll wait to see what the school district does, because I'm ready to go to the school board meeting on Monday night and just find out.
Let us know what time.
I'll come.
We'll be there.
Because it's, well, and the girls are planning on coming, so yeah, that's 6:30 Monday.
What do they need insurance for?
Because we're going to be on school
6:30
district property.
Monday.
And we're going to use the parking lot.
You can't go,
I
Peter.
thought our meeting was at 5.
It is.
Peter?
Yeah?
The school did the same thing for us, you know, the Lakes Region Music Festival that the music
I
department
think
sponsored?
evaluations are going to take
They
an
refused to.
hour
We're not
and a
doing
half.
evaluations.
We're
How
gonna
much was
do-
your
We're
quote?
revising
'Cause,
I think that that's only going to be an hour.
Well, I'll be sending in my
Because I
stuff
know-
probably tomorrow, so people can see what I suggested changing.
The Sonic Hall
Okay.
and the,
I can check with the Rotary on that insurance, too.
Well, we've got,
I think somebody was going to donate it.
we looked at tulip coverage because the Tilton Police Department is associated with it. Although if they're sponsoring it, then we don't need
said
tulip
6:30.
coverage.
It's under our
It's under
liability.
ours.
Did he say
So if
6:30 on
you
Monday?
are a co-sponsor, then we don't need tulip coverage. It's covered.
Exactly.
If,
Joyce?
Joyce, if it was under the Tilton, if it was sponsored by the Tilton Police Department, it would be under our policy.
yes.
Then let's do that.
Then there's no coverage needed.
Then there's no coverage
And it's a
needed.
done deal, we don't have to ask the
Have the
school.
girls do it, have the
Okay.
co-sponsor with the
Makes it
Tilton
simple.
Fund.
Okay,
I'll do that, Pete.
all right.
All right, I'll,
That'll work for the young ladies, I trust.
I sent you an email earlier.
Done deal.
Done deal.
Done.
We'll be walking. I'll be going as far as my knees take me.
Sure.
All right, and then,
I'll be carrying Jane.
no.
Saturn will be happy. I got to carry Jane, I've been told that.
I'll help you
I
out,
could
then.
fire up the,
Just throw a
fire up
carrier.
the mobile wheelchair there that, I could ride that.
Get some trikes.
Got a doggy backpack.
That's a Sunday.
I might take my dog with me.
He's gonna give you the information and I just do it online. Property liability.
Okay, moving right along. The Old Home Day Committee asked us to print 300 copies of their calendar that they fundraise, each year. The prize calendar, thank you. Prize calendar, they're asking Northfield as well. In the past, Deb Shepherd has always done that at her work, but she's no longer working at that place anymore. So Deb stopped in with the calendar and asked if we could print off 300 copies. So
We need a
now,
motion?
what's your opinion?
Okay.
Any particular color?
No?
Is this color or black and white?
No, that's one.
Yeah.
Is it color or black and white?
Well, it would be a colored paper, but black ink. Just use colored paper.
Yeah, we've got some color too.
It's 8 by 11, you throw them
Okay,
in,
so
it
Old
takes
Home
less than
Day
5
is
minutes.
not a municipal event. They're a non-profit organization. We should not be using taxpayers' dollars to support this nonprofit when they've already gotten their approval at town meeting for a specific sum. That was their request, that's what town meeting approved.
And they-
We should not
the
be
budget.
spending above that. I mean, as a citizen, I'm more than willing to donate monies to help them with that expense. They should be fundraising it, not looking to the town of Tilton to spend more taxpayers' dollars.
It should be included in their budget, what it costs to operate
If
Old
they
Home Day.
can't, exactly, if they are spending beyond their budgeted amount, they need to fundraise or relook at their budget. But the municipality, the town of Tilton, should not be spending any more taxpayers' dollars on an outside agency.
How much do they need a year, do you know? Does anyone? The Old Home
Their
Day,
budget
what they need?
varies depending on...
We give them 2,500 and Northfield gives them 2,500,
So
and
they
that's
need
what they use.
That basically buys the fireworks, and it buys the food, and all the stuff that... they
Everything it
need
costs to-
They get other monies, that's not their
They
budget.
get monies from
Income from
advertising
sales of food
in
and...
in the booths, some of the booths. Oh, and the horse, the registration for horse
Well, they
pulls.
pay out prizes, too.
Yeah.
There's no
It's
profit
kind
in
of,
it.
there's no, right, there is
There's no
no,
profit in it. And, you know,
mean-
I'm on the committee, and I am totally 100% behind the old home day concept, and I have to agree with Catherine on this. You do it once, you gotta do it for anybody, as much as I love them, and there's a meeting on Tuesday night, I will donate money at that time.
What-
To help them, and you know
much
what,
does
if
it
they
cost to
pay
have
for
a
it, I don't
copy?
mind them printing it at Town Hall.
What?
But they have to pay.
What time,
Right, but they could go to Staples. I'd
They
be
could.
more than willing to.
They could.
what,
To help
how much
them.
do you think it would cost to have 300 copies made at Staples?
Depends on if they're.
Of what, is it flyers?
No, it's just a 8 by 10 piece sheet of paper with
Sheet
a
of paper
calendar
with a
on it.
calendar on it.
Black and white.
Right, black and
That's
white.
like 5 cents a copy.
Yeah,
No,
sometimes,
it's colored and, it's black ink and colored paper, I think
Colored
you were
paper.
just saying.
Well, that's still not
cheap.
much.
I mean,
It's cheap.
sometimes I'll go down there, and if they have paper that was discontinued or something, they're like, do you have any preference? Because we might be able to do this for half if you pick that paper.
So
You know,
all right, so
If you give
how
me the
about a
flavor,
suggestion
maybe-
this, do you have the calendar?
No, I don't know, she didn't give it to us.
Come Tuesday, I'll be at the meeting, I
Why don't
can
you
bring the
get the
Well, I
calendar.
was saying, why don't you,
What time?
why don't you get it and we'll donate? Why don't you have it done and we'll
pay
donate
for
it
it.
towards it?
Chip in a couple bucks.
We'll
Yeah,
all
I'll
pitch in
chip in
for it.
on it. I'm all about this, but I totally agree with Catherine, they've got their money, and if they,
Should be in the budget.
So the answer is,
Yeah, it's in the
Gail,
budget.
the answer is that we need the calendar.
We didn't have enough
We will
money
have
for
300
toilet paper.
copies
We didn't have
made.
enough money for.
We can't do it out of
Soap.
taxpayers' money, but the selectmen are going to chip in
Jean's
and have
having
it
a yard
done.
sale.
Chip
She
in.
needs-
And you're going to do it
All
for
right,
us.
there you go.
So
We'll-
get
we'll
it,
take-
get it tomorrow, tell her to drop it off tomorrow, give it to the chief, and he'll have it done.
Just get it to me.
And then you'll let us know how much it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, that's,
but she didn't tell us,
6 o'clock at the Pines is when the
all the
next
good
meeting
stuff's gone
is.
from there.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
just tell us how much it is, and then we'll go from there.
I don't know if there's any.
All right.
There's a chocolate left. Get all the good.
Jane, we have chocolate right here.
Get a Mr. Goodbar.
Oh, here's some.
Chocolate's over here, Jane, we stocked up.
oh, we've got
Just
candy,
for
baby.
you. Don't put on too much weight, if I gotta carry you, I don't want you to get too heavy.
I'll help you, buddy, I told you I'd help you. Maybe we'll bring a stroller for,
Where's that meeting?
it's at the Pines,
At 6?
at 6 o'clock, yep.
All right, moving right along, I think that's it. Oh, we got a complaint from the resident, but we're working on that for Caliph Hill Road. Wanted to know who sold us out, because it was taken out of the budget. Caliph Hill Road was taken out of the budget, but
I
we've
talked to
contacted
him.
Jeannie. You talked to him too? I did too. And
What was the outcome of that?
we told him that Jeannie had promised us she'd do everything possible to put it back in the budget.
He did say it.
Yeah, and we've contacted Jeannie, but we haven't heard back from her. She's really busy. So she's going to get back to, she needed more specific information, or a phone call, I think it was, right? Something like that, Joyce?
No, she just said she was real busy and she'd get back to us.
Yeah, so I explained the situation, I'm sure Catherine's explained the situation. He was fine with that. It's not a lost deal, so help is still coming for Caliph Hill Road. All right,
Printing at Staples is 6 cents a page.
we'll come out and do selectmen's reports after a non-public.
18.
Right.
Do I have to leave?
Yep, make a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91A:3 personnel.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be really long.
I'm going to turn the camera off. We're red, time being 8:46. I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to a personnel issue permanently.
Second. All those in, roll call vote.
Yes?
Yes. Anything, we didn't get to selectmen's reports, but if there's something that you need to talk about,
I've got a list.
be more than happy to.
I got a couple things, but
Can we put the wood barricade up at West Main, Park Street, the right turn? The ones that like to right turn on red. West Main at Park. with traffic lights, you're heading east.
You want to put the barricade so
I
they
would-
can't take a right turn.
Right, because you
over
can't
the
turn
road.
on red, but you get people will line up, and you got the person in the normal lane gonna turn with...
Oh, okay, I see what you're
We've done it
saying.
in past years.
Yeah.
District 3 has given us permission to do
Yes,
that.
We've done it.
I'm okay with that.
But if we do
Yes.
it, we should notify them that we are doing it.
Yep.
Yes.
Just a question, why don't we allow right turn on red?
It's not ours to allow, it's the state of New Hampshire's, and they don't. Mostly because of the radius of the turn, as I was told.
Well, if you
Yeah.
set
Especially
it
with bigger
back a little
trucks.
bit for the trucks.
It really isn't, it's not wide enough to be a true passing lane, so if
So
you
it's
have
not
a
a
big
real
truck
lane.
here and you know, if I pulled over there in my truck, I wouldn't quite make it.
And you can't have a right turn on red because you've got no gate on the railroad.
Okay.
Roy Wakefield has asked that we take one of the speed bumps off of Academy and put it up on Daniel Drive because the kids are scooping up around the corner and speeding.
If he wants his own speed bump, I'd rather get one. The ones in Academy are doing their job.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And we
Agreed.
should not.
We can talk about getting another speed bump where needed, but I don't want to take one off Academy Street.
All right, we'll put that on the next week's agenda.
Just put that right on top there.
Yeah, that'll work out.
I got some quick things, just to let everyone know, as they saw Ernie's and everything's getting done, Belknap Landscaping was up there this afternoon, putting the dams down, the dirt's going in, getting leveled, and we're well on the way. I think the fence is going to be put up very shortly between
How'd the grade
butter-
match our manholes?
They haven't put the finished grade on the
They're
manhole.
putting all that in.
Still above the...
I think it's 4
Just,
inches
they
above right
sealed
now.
the surface with the proper thing and the marker layer, dirt's going in, so this is going to move quick. Just keep your eye on it, you might miss it. The other thing is that possibly this weekend, we might be cleaning some statues, if anybody wants. Stuff came in. I'll talk to you tomorrow about arrangements where it will be.
Yeah, hopefully the bucket will be up here tomorrow.
Okay. And,
Can't use a pressure washer on them, can you?
Nope.
No, it'll tear
Gotta be
those things
very
right up.
gentle.
Marble. It's marble.
They're old, they'll flake, no.
I believe that's our budget committee met last night at the police station.
Oh, they did.
Jules got her first tour of the police station. She was pretty impressed with the efficient use of space in there, every inch of it. And I think that's it.
We have applications coming in for the highway department, they're right here.
Good.
Some nice ones.
Gotten some in?
Yep.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
All right, Joe.
Okay, once again, I'm gonna tell you, Old Home Day's on June 27th.
That's not earth-shattering.
Pardon me?
We're supposed to have earth-shattering stuff. This isn't earth-shattering stuff.
No, that's earth-shattering for
Everybody
me.
knows this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it again. And I also want to say again that on May 31st, which is a Sunday, at 11 o'clock, the Addiction March will take place at the high school. I have news about the Casella contract, but that's probably non-public. Waste Zero,
From the water company on
We
that?
need to go have an RFP for our waste haulers.
we'll talk about that another day.
Soon.
RFP
Waste
Casella, RFP solid waste
haulers. And
contract.
recycle.
I feel they may
RFP
not
solid
be
waste
giving us a good
contract.
Next week's agenda.
Oh, yeah, let's pile it on next week. 2 years
Can't wait.
away, let's just
I've been
pile it
bringing it
in
up
next
for 2
week.
years, and every year I say, well, it's too late.
We've still got 2 years on the contract.
1 year.
May 16th.
I already talked to Tim.
1 year.
Oh, have you
Mayor.
gotten that
Boy,
far
time
already?
flies.
It
See?
does indeed.
All right,
I went to the Fire Commission Facilities meeting. We elected officers. Tim Sattler is the chair. Janice Lindblom is the secretary. And Cindy Hope, I think it's Hope with an H.
Linda.
Yes.
She is the vice chair. And I'm going to utilize some of the materials in the cabinet over here. I'll be making copies for them. I would like to be able, when the first meeting minutes are available, to post them on our website if the Board of Selectmen feels that's a proper thing so that the residents have access to that information.
Just what you take out of there, make sure you make a copy of it.
No,
so-
it'll be copies.
Okay.
I would never give them away on original. Most of that stuff is not applicable, but there's a number of pieces that'll be applicable to this.
5 times particularly.
There is now at the Laconia Police Station and the Guilford Police Station, a drug take-back program. You can bring your drugs in, prescription drugs or whatever.
Why is this earth-shattering? I mean, really, why is this earth-shattering? It's in the
Catherine,
newspaper.
it
It's
might
public
be
information.
earth-shattering to some parent whose son will die. This is important to me, and it's my report. Okay, the Laconia Police Station and the Guilford Police Station are taking back drugs. No questions asked. And I'll let the rest of it go.
All right? Peter?
Done.
All right.
Ditto.
My earth-shattering stuff will wait until next week.
Make a motion, we
Good
adjourn.
for you. Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Being 8:53.
Jeff did sign something? We didn't need to sign this, right?